does a car go from sitting in a garage like this to teaming up with Batman and taking down villains like this? Well, it's got everything to do with high-tech motherboards, sentient vehicles, and a powerful supercomputer. That's right, folks. Today we're covering the fascinating world of Batwheels. Let's get right into it. Episode 1, and we're jumping straight into a bank robbery, with literally every major Gotham villain rolling out at once.
Unknown accomplices! Don't go counting the cash just yet.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to start a show. Batman and his Batmobile, along with Robin and Batgirl, split up to chase them down, and honestly, they make it look really easy. Batman's dealing with the Joker, while Robin's taking on both Mr. Freeze and Harley Quinn at the same time.
Get him, Harley!
Batgirl yanks Penguin out of the water with a grappling hook, and when the Riddler tries to escape with a helicopter, Batman and Robin just transform their rides into launch mode and shut down the whole operation.
Now I'll have the money all to myself. Or not.
Later, the mayor's office invites the heroes to a ceremony, and while Batman's not exactly thrilled about it, Robin and Batgirl convince him, so they send their cars home on autopilot and catch a ride to the ceremony in a limo the mayor sent for them. Meanwhile, in Batman's secret underground hideout, you know, the Batcave, where all the Batwheels live, things get a little spicy. A robot named Crash breaks in to steal BC, short for Batcomputer, a powerful AI who runs the whole Batcave. With the heroes completely unreachable, BC thinks fast and tells Mo, this clumsy robot handyman, to install special Bat motherboards to bring the cars to life.
I'm a fan of this plan, a big fan!
Meet Bam, the now sentient Batmobile, who can talk, think, and kick ass.
Okay, that's how you want it.
Wait, what?
Bam fights Crash using every gadget he has, but the intruder still escapes with the extra motherboards. Crash heads straight to the scrapyard where he hands the motherboards over to his boss, Batcomputer, an evil AI trapped inside a scoreboard, and this guy's got some serious beef with BC, so Batcomputer whips up the Legion of Zoom, evil villain vehicles that are ready to cause some serious chaos. Back in the Batcave, Mo installs the motherboards into the other cars. I mean, Bam can't defeat the Zoomers alone, now can he? First up is Redbird, Robin's ride. Redbird is all about going fast, and the little guy is always trying to prove himself. Next we've got Bibi, the Batgirl's motorbike. She's super smart and always ready with a plan. Then there's Batwing, the flying machine. I mean, what's a Bat team without someone who can fly? Batwing is dead serious about every mission and doesn't let anything distract her, not even fun. And finally, there's Buff, this absolute unit of a truck. He's the muscle, the big guy who can smash through pretty much anything. You've already met Bam, Batman's trusty vehicle and pretty much the heart of the team. Just like that, the Batwheels are officially online. Their first mission is stopping the Legion of Zoom, but it all ends in a total disaster. They get absolutely wrecked at Gotham Amusement Mile, but Bam gives the team a pep talk about being themselves and learning from mistakes, and round 2 goes way better. Meanwhile, the mayor's ceremony invitation was a total trap. The limo locks the heroes inside and starts speeding out of control, about to crash with them trapped in it. But just when things are looking bad, the Batwheels show up and save the day, officially becoming Gotham's newest crime-fighting squad. Episode 2 kicks off with some bad news from BC. Penguin's Ducky boat is at Gotham's docks, going after some seriously powerful fuel cells, the kind that'll make any vehicle go crazy fast. If the Legion of Zoom gets their wheels on those, the Batwheels are toast. Our heroes rush to stop it, but things go sideways pretty fast. Ouch! Back at the cave, BC analyzes the mess and decides that they need a leader. Bam gets the job since he's Batman's OG ride. But here's the thing, Bam tries leading by doing his best Batman impression. You know, deep voice, barking orders, ignoring everyone's concerns. Yeah, things don't really turn out great. Yeah, the team's had enough. Bam feels like he blew it, but BC reminds him he wasn't picked to be Batman. He was picked for being brave, loyal, and a good listener. When Ducky Boat returns to Gotham Docks, this time Bam apologizes to the team and actually listens to them. Batwing scouts from above. Redbird finds the perfect trap, and Bibi lures Ducky straight into it.
Trapped!
like a duck in a donut shop.
The plan works perfectly. Ducky gets captured and the fuel cells remain perfectly safe. Episode 3 kicks off with Batman and Buff chasing Mr. Freeze through the icy streets of Gotham. Buff's got his snow tires on, skis deployed, boosters fired up, he's ready for any smoke. But when a dog runs into the street, things go a little sideways pretty quick. Good move, terrible timing. Anyway, Batman keeps crashing while Mr. Freeze's truck is just lying there busted up. Buff rolls over and offers to help him up with his winch, because apparently Buff's just that nice. The truck says he's Snowstorm Destruction Mark III, but that's a whole mouthful, so Buff just goes with Snowy. The two big guys start bonding over the basic big vehicle problems. You know, everyone's always expecting them to do the heavy lifting just because they're huge. Never being able to find a parking spot that actually fits him, you know, all that fun stuff. Also, Buff and Snowy both like dogs, so it's actually pretty wholesome. Buff brings Snowy back to the Batcave for repairs, and while the team's not thrilled about helping a villain's car, Bam agrees once he hears Snowy saved the dog from earlier. The gang decides to hang out with Snowy, and everyone's having a great time, until Mr. Freeze activates a remote signal forcing Snowy to return.
He's calling me. When he calls, I have to do what he says. I don't have any choice.
Snowy's eyes turn red, and he has no choice but to obey. With Snowy on his side, Mr. Freeze traps Batman and the gang with ice beams. But when it comes to Buff, Snowy just can't hurt his friend. Anyway, BC eventually deploys a defroster that shatters the ice, and so everyone is left unscathed. Well, except for Snowy, because Mr. Freeze is trying to deal with them. Episode 4 kicks off with the Batwheels watching TV, when suddenly the whole broadcast gets hijacked. And who's behind it? The Penguin. He's up in his ridiculous duck-shaped blimp, telling everyone he's stolen the TV signals from Gotham. Why? Well, he got rejected from Gotham's finest talent show, so naturally his revenge plan is to force the entire city to watch his talent show instead. Batman wastes zero time and drops in on his bat glider, with Batwing providing air support up top. Except she ends up slamming into Batman while they're flying through the clouds. Yikes, that's not ideal. Just like that, Batwing crashes and Batman gets captured by the Penguin. So back at the Batcave, Bam thinks it's all his fault that everything fell apart. Naturally, the rest of the Batwheels try to handle the situation themselves, and yeah, it goes about as well as you'd expect.
3, 2, 1, fire! I'm flying! I'm swimming.
Meanwhile, on the blimp, Penguin decides it's time to spice things up by making Batman walk the plank. But while that's happening, Bam finally comes up with a plan. He has Batwing draw a massive image of the Penguin in the sky. Of course, that guy's gonna stop everything to admire his own face, so while the Penguin is distracted, Bam shows up just at the right moment. The next thing you know, Batman's already in the Batmobile. He pops the blimp like a balloon, and the Penguin falls right into Batman's hands. The news reports the whole thing, and Gotham's safe once again. In episode 5, a new villain, the Toyman, just hit up Star Labs, you know, the high-tech research facility where they keep all the fancy sci-fi gadgets. So Toyman snagged himself a pretty wild piece of tech, a do-over remote that literally lets you rewind time. And of course, giving a villain the power to Control-Z his mistake is a recipe for disaster. So Bibi and Redbird get sent out to bring this guy in before he can cause any real damage. The chase is on, and Toyman's out here getting cocky with his new toy.
With the press of a button on this do-over remote, I can do any moment over again.
They end up in a construction site where things get interesting. Bibi's lining up this epic jump to reach Toyman, but she slips on a paintbrush and faceplants right into a puddle. Yeah, not exactly her coolest moment. But that clumsy fall actually saves the day. The paint can hit Toyman right on the head, and the villain gets captured. So Batgirl picks up the remote and passes it to Mo for safekeeping in the Batcave. Mission accomplished, right? Well, not for Bibi. She's still hung up on that embarrassing faceplant, and when Mo accidentally shows her the do-over remote, Bibi decides she's gonna redo the whole mission, and just like that, we're back at square one. Bibi starts reliving the mission over and over and over, obsessively trying to nail the jump. Finally, after Lord knows how many attempts, she finally gets it right, except when Bibi missed her jump the first time, that's what made the paint fall on Toyman. Now that she landed it perfectly, Toyman escaped. So Bibi realizes she got so caught up in trying to look cool that she forgot what actually mattered. To make things right, she pressed the button one more time and intentionally misses the jump. This time, Toyman gets caught. That's way more heroic heroic than any perfect landing could ever be, if you ask me. Moving on to episode 6, the gang's having a great time in the Batcave until the bat signal interrupts the fun. You know, the giant light in the sky that alerts Batman when Gotham needs him? Joker's back and on his way to Gotham's Central Bank. Batman and Robin are already prepping to head out when Redbird tries to tag along, but Bam tells him to sit this one out, saying it's too dangerous for Red. You know what, screw that. Redbird follows them anyway. Meanwhile, the Joker's tearing up the streets in his van called Prank. Batman and Robin are throwing everything at this guy, but the Joker's slippery as hell. Joker keeps pulling different tricks, and then he decides to start throwing these bursty bombs around. Redbird grabs one of the bombs, trying to be helpful, but then he accidentally sends it flying directly into Bam. Oops. Batman and Robin hop on a train while Bam is giving Redbird the cold shoulder for screwing things up. But anyway, Bam lets him come to the bank as backup. They find Prank there, and Bam tells Redbird to chill while he handles it. Does Redbird listen? No.
What was that?
Now Prank knows they're onto him, and he's bouncing all over the city. Bam's had enough at this point, and he tells Redbird to just go home. Meanwhile, Prank's running wild in the streets when he slaps Bam with his joy buzzer thing that straight up kills his engine. Bam is completely stranded and can't do a thing, but Redbird, who definitely did not go home, rips off the buzzer and saves Bam's butt. They activate their Bat Link, which is basically a rod that physically locks the two cars together, so they move as one, and Bam and Redbird flip the script on Prank, using his joy buzzer against him. Meanwhile, Batman and Robin have already got the Joker tied up, and right there, it finally clicks for Bam. Maybe having a partner isn't a bad idea after all. In episode 7, we open with Harley Quinn stealing stuff she has no business with. This time, it's the Gotham Knights baseball trophy. Batgirl's on her tail, but Harley's got her own ride, an ATV named Bestah. And Bestah's one mischievous trash talker.
Your boss ran away, Bestah, but don't think for a second you're gonna... An adorable little scooter. You come with a cute little bell.
Naturally, Bibi's not having it. She loses her cool, which is exactly when Bestah deploys road jacks that shred Bibi's tires. Meanwhile, Batgirl makes a move to grab Harley, but she slips away anyway. On the bright side, she managed to tag Bestah with a tracer before they zoom off. Back at the Batcave, Bibi's clearly upset about losing her temper. Mo's doing his best to cheer her up, but Bibi's not having it. So Batwing figures what Bibi needs is a spa day. We're talking car wash, tire massage, plus a yoga class.
Whoa!
Hey, Bibi's doing a wobbly wheelie.
Buff and Bam can't help but laugh at Bibi's wobbly wheelie, which obviously doesn't help. Later, the Batcomputer picks up Harley's location, and before they head out, BC gives Bibi some advice. Take deep breaths when you're angry. Keep calm and roll on. When they finally track down Harley, the trash tug starts right back up. But this time, Bibi actually listens to the advice. She stays focused and pulls off this insane jump that completely cuts off Harley's escape. At the end of the day, the trophy's back where it belongs and Harley Quinn gets busted. In episode 8, Batman and Batwing just got back in the Batcave after taking down some villains like it's just another Tuesday. The other Batwheels are geeking out about their recent missions. And then there's Bam, sitting there having an existential crisis because Batman hasn't picked him for a mission in like forever. Yikes. Mo tries to explain that Batman picks vehicles based on their special attributes. You know, Batwing's got wings, Buff's got armor, and Bam's like, what do I have? Wheels? In order to sort out this existential crisis, Bam finds Batman's experimental upgrades. Jet boosters, super armor, wings, the whole package. And without asking, he slaps everything on himself. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Later, Batman receives a signal, and this time Toyman is breaking into Gotham radio towers. Batman notices Bam's new look and decides to take him, but there's one thing. Bam has no idea how to use any of this stuff. He's just plowing through the city, causing damage at every turn. Meanwhile, Toyman's trying to steal the tower's antenna for his mega remote so he can just control every toy in Gotham, including Bam. His toy soldiers are already attacking Batman on the rooftop, and Bam's over here making things worse with his DIY upgrade disaster. Finally, Bam realizes he's just getting in the way, so he ditches the upgrades and uses his actual skills to help Batman take down Toyman. Batman catches the bad guy and reminds Bam that he's always had the best wheels in town. I guess the lesson here is, don't fix what's not broken. Episode 9 kicks off with Redbird literally vibrating with excitement. Why? Because Batman and Robin are going to the beach and they're taking Redbird for the first time. He's pumped and making sure everyone in the Batcave knows about it. They roll up to the beach at night because of course Batman does beaches at night, and Robin is already ordering the most extra ice cream flavors you've ever heard. But the vibes get ruined when they spot a ship heading straight for some rocks. But don't worry though, the Gotham Point Lighthouse has got this, until they hear that laugh.
What's the Joker doing here?
Yep, Joker and Prank are about to turn off the lighthouse. The reason is quite simple: to crash the ship and steal his cargo of whoopee cushions. I'm sorry, whoopee cushions? Really? Obviously, Batman goes after them, and it turns into this crazy beach chase. But Joker still makes it to the lighthouse though, and he shuts off the light. But Batman's got a backup plan. He uses Bam's headlights as a makeshift lighthouse instead. Thanks to our lighthouse on wheels, the ship is safe and the Joker's busted. Redbird realizes they end up having the perfect beach day after all. Sometimes things work out better when they don't go according to plan. Episode 10 starts off with the team just vibing in the Batcave when the alarm goes off. Something's flying towards Wayne Manor, which is basically Batman's huge mansion sitting right on top of the Batcave. Batman and Batwing check it out and find a Joker balloon heading their way. Batman pops the balloon, feeling pretty cool about it, but it's filled with water and absolutely floods the entire Batcave.
Boss, we're flooding! Execute the emergency evacuation plan.
Emergency evacuation time. Mo grabs the Batcomputer's motherboard and installs it into his own head to keep it dry. Batman moves everybody to a parking garage at Wayne Industries. And let me tell you, nobody's happy about it. Buff can't fit in the space, Bibi has no room to practice her jumps, and Batwing's a literal plane stuck in a garage. Meanwhile, Batman's hunting down more Joker balloons that could flood all of Gotham. At the garage, Bam's trying to lift everyone's spirits, telling Buff to park wherever, showing Bibi they've got 7 whole levels to mess around with. Batwing's just there moping, at least until Batman needs her right away. That's when the team realizes they can use the garage ramps to launch Batwing. They all work together pushing and building speed through every level until Batwing launches from the top. They stop the balloons, but here's the thing: Joker's in jail, meaning someone else is behind this. The Batwheels realize the garage isn't so bad after all, so when Mo tells them the Batcave is dried out, they kinda don't want to leave now.
Right now? Can't we stay longer? Please?
We like it here.
Episode 11 opens with Batman and Bam cruising through Gotham on a night patrol when Joker and Prank come out of nowhere, challenging them to a drag race. Joker's over here clowning Batman, asking if he's too scared to race. Batman activates drag mode, but doesn't actually take the bait, so Joker just speeds off calling Batman a Scaredy-Bat. At the Batcave, Bam's frustrated that Batman didn't even try. Things get even worse when the race is all over the news. The reporters are literally questioning if Batman is actually scared, and Bam's had enough. Despite everyone telling him to chill, he sneaks out alone to find Prank and get that rematch. Bam tracks down Prank at an amusement park and they race. But of course, Prank pulls a fast one on him and Bam slams right into a container.
Hey! Maybe you're not chicken now, but you sure look like one!
Yeah, that's rough, buddy. His team tries to cheer him up, reminding him of all the awesome stuff he's done. But before he can even process that, Prank challenges Bam to another race. This time, they're racing through this obstacle course that looks dangerous as heck. Oh, and he made sure that the news cameras were there to film the whole thing. They race through the shipping containers and ramps until Bam realizes the course ends right at the pier's edge. They're both gonna drive straight into the harbor. Bam slows down and tries to warn Prank, but Prank thinks this is a trick to keep going full speed. And this is where Bam shows what being brave actually means. He hits the gas, deploys his Batwinger, and pulls Prank out before he goes under. Episode 12 kicks off with this helicopter named Quiz stealing a satellite dish. The Batwheels show up to stop him, but Quiz just blinds them with a crazy bright light, and they all crash. Not a great start, guys. Then Quiz hits them with a riddle. Follow the questions and you'll have a wild chase, but checking the time is how you win this race. Bars. He leaves these question marks with goose hidden in the dots as clues. Redbird notices this might mean a wild goose chase, but he doesn't say anything because he's second-guessing himself. Buff eventually spots the goose too, and everyone decides Quiz must be at the golden goose statue in the park. Redbird has got this nagging feeling they're wrong, but stays quiet. They get to the park and yep, it's a trap. They're all stuck in Quizzly quicksand. Anyway, Buff pulls everyone out and Redbird finally admits that he knew it was probably a trap, but he was too scared to speak up. The team tells him he's gotta trust his instincts and speak up, which is honestly a pretty solid lesson. The crew tries solving the rest of the riddle, and again, Redbird figures it out. Checking the time means the clock tower, and sure enough, Quiz is there with his Mega Time Twister 3000, messing up every clock in Gotham. To beat him, Redbird throws out a riddle. What's the only word that's wrong every time you say it? Quiz gets absolutely stuck on it, and while he's losing his mind trying to figure it out, Batwing comes in clutch and swipes the device away from the Chopper Boy. They pull it off, and Redbird finally gets his moment as the genius of the team. Episode 13 kicks off with the Legion of Zoom trying to rob a bank, but the Batwheels show up and scare them off without even breaking a sweat. Now here's where it gets interesting. Back at HQ, the Legion of Zoom is having a therapy session trying to figure out why they keep getting their butts handed to them. Their big revelation? The Batwheels work together, and they don't. Wow, really groundbreaking stuff. Later, the Batcomputer gives them a mission: steal a shipment of supermanium, which is apparently the strongest metal in the universe. So Bestah steps up and creates this elaborate plan. Prank splats pies right in the heroes' faces to block their sights. Ducky cuts the container loose. Snowy freezes their wheels, and Quiz flies away with the goods. They even practice with Crash playing pretend Batwheels. And when they actually pull off the heist at the docks, it works.
How are they beating us? I think they're actually working together, but they never do that.
But the teamwork doesn't last long, because the second they get the supermanium, everyone immediately turns on each other. You know, villains gotta be villains. Bestah literally betrays her entire team and takes the medal for herself.
It belongs to the boss. And that's me!
Hey, what are you doing?
Typical villain move. Anyway, the Batwheels corner her pretty quick, with the proper teamwork and everything. But the Legion of Zoom actually comes back for her, even after she ditched them. She apologizes, and they're basically like, yeah, we're still a team, just not a very good one. Moving on to episode 14. So the Batwheels are having their first rev contest, which is exactly what it sounds like. Mo judges who can rev their engine the loudest, using his Rev-O-meter. Redbird, Batwing, Bam, and Buff all step up, and Buff absolutely dominates with his monster truck engine. Then it's Redbird's turn, and crickets. His engine barely makes a sound.
Okay, Red, we're ready for your super loud rev.
What do you mean? That was it.
Oof, that's rough, buddy. Mo explains that Redbird's got stealth technology built in, so he's supposed to be quiet. But Redbird, he ain't feeling it. He just wants to be loud like everyone else. So he practically begs Mo to remove the stealth tech. So Mo removes it, and now Redbird's engine becomes ridiculously loud.
Now that's what I call some serious revving.
Anyway, Catwoman picks this exact moment to steal a Siamese cat idol, and it's up to Robin to stop her, except now Redbird sounds like a jet engine. So Catwoman hears them coming from a mile away. So yeah, she just casually strolls away. Not great. At the Batcave, Redbird's feeling pretty terrible, but the gang gives him a pep talk. What makes him special isn't how loud he is, it's his unique abilities. Everyone brings something different to the team. Redbird gets it now, and asks Mo to reinstall the stealth tech. Next time Catwoman strikes, Redbird sneaks up on her like a ninja, and Robin catches her easily.
See you around the alley. Oh, bats.
Sometimes the second time's a charm. Episode 15 kicks off in the Batcave, and BC is doing literally everything. I'm talking about the Batcave operations, training, games, everything. Problem is, even supercomputers need a break. BC needs to recharge, and someone else has got to run the Batcave while she's out. The team's all confident, like, yeah, we got this, no problem. BC's hesitant, but shuts down anyway. And right off the bat, it's utter chaos.
I can fix this!
So naturally, Batman calls right in the middle of this disaster. Harley Quinn just swiped the Best Actor trophy, and Bam needs to roll out now. Bam takes off, and Mo tries helping with navigation, but ends up sending Batman to a clown that's not Harley. The real Harley's just laughing at them while they scramble. Things keep going downhill, and Batman nearly crashes because of the bogus navigation data. Without BC, the whole operation's a mess. Later, Batwing finally remembers something BC said about bad things turning out good. So the team puts their head together to help Batman capture Harley, and it goes off without a hitch.
Nice work. I'll take it from here.
We did it!
Meanwhile, BC finally comes back online asking if she missed anything. The team tries playing it cool, but they immediately admit how rough it was without her.
We really appreciate all you do for us, BC. You're the best Batcomputer a super team could ever have.
Oh.
Episode 16 is all about Mo. You know, the guy who builds the cool stuff in the Batcave? He's showing off his newest invention to Bam, the Bat Laser. Then Mo tells Bam he's always wanted to be a hero like the Batwheels instead of being inside all day. And honestly, I get it. So when Batcomputer calls Bam for night patrol, Bam's like, hey, wanna come along? And Mo's like, say no more. Dude transforms into a Bat-Mo faster than you can say giggity. Their first mission is rescuing a cat from a tree, and Mo uses the ejector seat, but yeah, he crashes into trash cans. He gets the cat though, so partial credit. Things escalate when they find vines blocking the road. Mo tries to clear them, and the vines literally fight back by throwing seeds at them.
We're getting pelted by produce! Take this! And that!
Because apparently Poison Ivy decided today was the day to weaponize produce. She planted these mega seeds that turn all of Gotham into her personal jungle. So while Bam and Mo are on the move, these giant vegetables start chasing them. Corn, carrots, Brussels sprouts, the whole farmer's market basically. Mo completely freaks out and admits he's not cut out for this hero stuff. But BC says being a hero isn't just about fighting, it's about helping people. Which Mo already does. That pep talk works out because Mo remembers he's still got Bam's laser. They blast the veggie army, then Mo uses a crane to help Bam to rip out Poison Ivy's garden by the roots. Mission accomplished. Ivy's arrested, and Mo realizes he's perfectly happy being the gadget guy. Not every hero needs to be in the field. Episode 17 is all about the Batwheels' very first holiday season, and they are hyped.
I've got the bat decorations.
I've got the bat tree. Ta-da!
Naturally, the Batwheels go absolutely wild with their decorations. Trees, lights, ornaments, holiday songs. Then Batwing rolls in from patrol and immediately kills the vibe. She's not feeling the holiday spirit at all, saying it's all just a distraction from their real job, fighting crime. Everyone tries to tell her that Gotham's quiet and it's okay to chill, but nope, Batwing's on a mission to find bad guys. Right on cue, Batcomputer alerts them that Mr. Freeze is attacking the giant Christmas tree in Gotham Plaza. The team rolls out, but while Batwing wants to chase Freeze, everyone else prioritizes catching the falling tree to save it. They pull it off, but Freeze gets away, and Batwing is not happy about it. Anyway, Batwing's had enough. She goes solo and literally creates her own section, where no one else is allowed. She refuses to do any holiday stuff because she's too busy being serious, so while the others are out having the time of their lives, Batwing's watching them have fun. You can see her starting to wonder if maybe, just maybe, going solo wasn't the right call. Then Batcomputer hits them with another alert. Mr. Freeze is now trying to kidnap Ike-Sickle, Gotham's beloved snowman mascot. The team rushes to save Ike, but Batwing's still on her solo kick and insists on handling Freeze by herself. Everything goes sideways when everyone's grappling hooks get tangled together. Mr. Freeze escapes with Ike and freezes the entire team in an alley. Well, except Batwing, cause she got untangled. So Batwing heads back to her cave, feeling pretty confident at first. But she quickly realizes that she can't read maps or track Mr. Freeze without the others. So the solo thing isn't really working out too great for her. BC and Mo eventually talk some sense into her, that having good friends beats being a solo hero any day. Batwing realizes she messed up big time and scans for her teammates' location. She finds them trapped in ice and immediately goes to rescue them. Now working together, they come up with a plan. Batwing rescues Ike while the rest of the team straps on ice skates and chases Mr. Freeze. And it works perfectly. They're dodging ice attacks, left and right, with some seriously smooth teamwork. When Batwing uses her heat ray to free Ike, it turns out Ike is actually Batman in disguise. Batman actually went undercover to take down Mr. Freeze. Batman thaws out the ice, and everyone heads back to the Batcave to finally celebrate the holidays. Episode 18 starts with the Batwheels inventing a new game called Bat Ball. Mo builds them this magnetic ball that sticks to their metal bodies. And the rules are simple. Drive around with the ball and score by getting it into the other team's goalpost, which is just a bunch of tires. Pretty straightforward if you ask me. It's Bam, Red, and Batwing on one side, with Bibi and Buff on the other. Mo's assigned as the referee, and you can tell he's pretty disappointed. Anyway, during the game, Bibi uses a batarang illegally and gets a yellow card from Mo. Bibi says the teams are uneven. I mean, 2 players against 3 isn't exactly fair. Mo volunteers to play, but nope, he gets turned down again. Ouch. Later, Batman calls Bam to help catch Catwoman, who's breaking into the Gotham Diamond Exchange. During the chase, Bam's super impressed by Catwoman's car and its slick moves, which sparks an idea for another Batball problem. Bam tells Mo to gather everyone at Gotham Central Park and bring a Bat motherboard. His genius plan? Use Catwoman's car as the 6th player to even things out. I really think this will backfire later, but Mo brings the car to life, and she introduces herself as Kitty. The problem is, Kitty is the most distracted player ever. She's chasing lights, birds, anything that moves really. She's not interested in the game at all. So yeah, they still need a 6th player. Finally, Bam asks Mo to join his team as an actual player. Mo is thrilled, and Bam apologizes for caring more about the game than Mo's feelings. Oh, I just love these guys. Episode 19 kicks off with the Batwheels working on this 50-piece puzzle, but then they get an alert. The championship soccer trophy's been stolen from Gotham Stadium. Everyone immediately points at Harley Quinn because, let's be honest, stealing trophies is kinda her thing. Batman heads out to confront Harley while BC does some digging. BC spots a shiny button on the ground near the stadium that doesn't really scream Harley Quinn. Redbird and Bibi decide to investigate themselves, and even though everyone else and their mothers are pretty convinced that Harley's guilty, they use an infrared scanner to find tracks and to start following the trail. Along the way, they collect clues: a fancy button, a piece of cloth from an umbrella, and a rubber ducky behind a garbage can near Harley's arcade. Meanwhile, Batman catches up to Harley and questions her.
You think I stole it? Don't you think I'd be bragging about it if I did?
She insists that she's innocent, but Batman chases after her because, well, that's what he does. Redbird and Bibi start analyzing their clues and cross-referencing them with villains' files, and that's when it clicks. The fancy button, umbrella, and rubber ducky, none of that matches Harley's vibe, but it all screams penguin. Turns out the penguin framed Harley so Batman would be distracted while he stole all of Harley's trophies from our arcade. Batman and Harley team up, catch the penguin, and send him to jail. Episode 20 kicks off with the Batwheels running an agility course in the Batcave. Buff's pumped, thinking he's about to nail this thing, and he does crush it. Literally. He barrels through everything and crashes straight into Mo. Buff's pretty bummed afterward, complaining about being too big and clumsy. Then an alert pops up. Riddler's stealing an excavator from a construction site. For context, Riddler's this villain who's obsessed with puzzles and riddles, and apparently Grand Theft construction equipment is on his to-do list today. Batman figures it's him and brings Buff along. During the chase, Buff's steering starts glitching out. Riddler's dropping his terrible riddles the whole time before he manages to escape. At the Batcave, Mo runs diagnostics and says that everything's fine, but when he asks Buff what actually happened, Buff admits he kept breaking stuff he wasn't supposed to touch. Batwing tries cheering him up, but Buff's not having it. He doesn't want to just be the big guy. He wants to be graceful like Batwing. BC gives him a word of advice, then Batwing throws out an idea: ballet. Batwing explains it'll help Buff get more graceful and balanced, so they put Buff through some ballet training. After the session, Buff's feeling way more confident. Batman connects the dots and realizes Riddler's targeting the sandcastle contest at Gotham Beach. So Batman and Buff head to the beach where Riddler's already set up with the excavator. Buff is nervous at first, but he remembers his training and carefully weaves through all the sandcastles without destroying a single one. Batman catches up to the Riddler, who reveals his master plan was to just wreck everyone else's sandcastles so he could win. They stop him and save the contest. Episode 21 opens with Bibi and Bam out riding when Bibi does a double flip straight into a pool of mud, ignoring Bam's warnings. Bam tells her she needs to think before acting so impulsively, but does Bibi listen? No. She takes another jump without hesitation. This time she falls into a deep hole that cuts off her communication with the team. Then Bestah shows up. Turns out she made the trap, and it's all part of the Batcomputer's grand plan to destroy BC and become the most powerful computer in the world. They've built an extra replica of Bibi and implanted Bestah's motherboard into it, so now Bestah can perfectly mimic Bibi's voice and appearance. The plan is to infiltrate the Batcave as Bibi and steal BC's motherboard. Bibi realizes she needs to think her way out, so she notices a pattern of bars on the walls and climbs out of the hole. Meanwhile, Bestah gets into the Batcave and nobody suspects a thing. She tries to steal BC's motherboard, but keeps getting interrupted. Buff's inviting Bibi to a tea party. Redbird wants to race, Batwing's suggesting yoga. Basically, everyone's pulling Bestah in different directions, and she's had enough.
I can't take it anymore!
Bestah snaps, grabs BC's motherboard, and runs off with it. They chase Bestah onto the highway, and that's when the real Bibi shows up. Now there are two Bibis, and everyone's confused. To solve the problem, Bibi dares Bestah into a jumping competition. Bestah obviously accepts. Bibi purposefully loses, making Bestah jump right into the hole Bibi fell into earlier. With Bestah trapped, The Batwheels figure out which Bibi's real and take back BC's motherboard. Episode 22 opens with the Gotham Grand Prix about to kick off, with racers competing through the city streets for a grand prize trophy. But suddenly all the race cars get unexplained engine problems at the exact same time. I mean, that's not suspicious or anything. The race organizers announce special guest racers will compete instead. And surprise, surprise, it's the Legion of Zoom. The Batwheels immediately realize the Legion sabotaged the original racers to steal the trophy for themselves. Bam and the team decide to enter the race to stop these cheaters and show them how to win properly. As the race starts, the Legion of Zoom goes villain mode, eliminating the Batwheels one after the other. Redbird gets lifted up by Ducky's blimp, Bestah tricks Bibi with an illusion, Buff gets frozen, Batwing's trapped in goo, and Bam ends up driving off course thanks to the fake track markers. With everyone eliminated, Bam manages to get back on the course. He's way behind the 5 Zoomers who are now approaching the finish line. His teammates suggest that he should cheat to get ahead of the bad guys, but Bam stays true to Batman's principles. He ends up hatching a plan to make the Legion accidentally take each other out with their own cheating tactics. He taunts them to draw them close, and then they end up hitting each other with their own traps. Bam successfully defeats 4 Zoomers this way, leaving only Prank. In the final stretch, Prank throws bursty bombs at Bam, but in close photo finish, Bam still crosses the finish line first, and just like that, the Zoomers continue their losing streak. Episode 23 starts with Batman and Batwing responding to a robbery. Riddler's stealing a gold shipment and making his getaway with Quiz. During the chase, Riddler messes with Batwing's vision, and Batman's about to eject when his buddy, Green Arrow, shows up with his jet and helps him take down the Riddler. But during the mission, the jet got damaged and needs repairs. Green Arrow brings it to the Batcave where Mo fixes it up. While watching the repairs, Batwing gets the idea that she wants another plane as a friend. Someone who can fly and do stunts like she can. So Batwing uses a motherboard to bring the jet to life. Once alive, the jet and Batwing immediately become buddies. Batwing nicknames her Goldie, and they spend the whole day flying together and performing stunts. Later, it's time for Goldie to leave, and since she's all fixed and the Green Arrow needs her back, both Batwing and Goldie are heartbroken, but Batcomputer reassures them that saying goodbye doesn't mean forever. They can always visit each other. After Green Arrow and Goldie leave, the other Batwheels remind Batwing that they'll always be there to play, even if they can't fly. Aww. Episode 24 opens with Bam on patrol in Gotham, and he runs into Kitty. Kitty's playing a game called Boop Knock It Over, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Knocking stuff over. Bam tells her that that's not cool because she's messing with other people's things, so Kitty tries to hide and seek instead. And while Bam's looking for her, he nearly drives off an overpass after slipping on oil. Luckily, Kitty saves him before he falls. Bam thought this was great, so he invites Kitty to join him on patrol. During patrol, Kitty doesn't take things seriously. When BC tells them to secure a loose boat at the dock, Kitty gets distracted by a cardboard box instead of helping. She keeps getting distracted by different things, treating patrol like playtime. Later, BC reports that Penguin stole a film from a movie premiere. Kitty gets distracted again, and this time Bam's done with her shenanigans. He tells her this isn't playtime and makes her stay behind, which obviously upsets Kitty. Meanwhile, Penguin's grand plan is to project the ending of the movie above the city to spoil it for everyone, because he wasn't invited to the premiere. Typical Penguin. What a loser. When Bam tries stopping him, Penguin uses bright spotlights to blind him. Bam realizes he needs help taking down those lights, and who better to call in than Kitty? When she shows up, Bam apologizes for always trying to make her act serious. He finally gets that her playful side is actually useful and suggests they play Boop Knock It Over. Kitty knocks over the Penguin spotlights one by one, and finally, Kitty knocks over the projector pod itself, saving the premiere. Episode 25 starts with Bibi attempting a backwards jump with her eyes closed, which, yeah, totally goes badly. Right after that, BC hits her up, because Harley Quinn's on a stealing spree. This time, she's snatching championship medals from athletes all over Gotham. Harley's literally bragging about how stealing is way easier than actually winning. Can't really argue with that logic, I guess. While Batgirl deals with Harley, Bibi then runs into Bestah. Bestah is bored and wants to go to the park. She convinces Bibi to race her there, and when they arrive, Bestah just breaks in after hours like it's no big deal. Bibi tries to tell her they can't just sneak into a closed park, but Bestah doesn't care about any of that. And honestly, Bibi ends up having a pretty good time breaking the rules for once. But here's where things get messy. That night, instead of recharging like she's supposed to, Bibi decides to stay up doing tricks in the Batcave. When the next Harley alert comes in, Bibi's basically running on empty. She's going the wrong direction, glitching out, and eventually her battery runs out during the mission. Now Batgirl has to finish on foot. After some real talk from Bam about how rules are actually to keep you safe, Bibi finally gets it. So the next time Bestah tries getting Bibi to jump over a drawbridge, which is like incredibly dangerous by the way, Bibi refuses. But Bestah tries it anyway and she fails miserably. While Bestah is floating off in the river, Batgirl's closing in on Harley. Harley needs Bestah to escape, but surprise, Bestah's currently taking a swim. With no backup, Harley tries running away on foot, but Batgirl catches up with a fully charged Bibi and uses a bat rope to tie her up. Episode 26 kicks off with Batman chasing down the Riddler, who just stole the Amuzetta stone from a museum. It's basically the oldest and most valuable riddle ever written. During the chase, Buff makes this incredible move to stop him, but when Batman checks the stone, it's a cheap fake. The Riddler already switched it. Later, BC scans the city and finds the Riddler in 10 different places at once. Turns out he made hologram copies of himself, so there's no way to tell which one's the real one. Batman decides to check each location with Batwing while Buff stays back because of some technical issues. Here's where things get interesting though. After the news covers Buff taking down the Riddler, everyone starts calling him Tough Buff. And yeah, Buff appreciates being strong, but he's genuinely frustrated that people only see that one thing about him. Bam notices something's wrong and goes to talk to him about it. The other Batwheels realize they messed up and apologize, pointing out that Buff is way more than just tough. He's supportive, knows everyone's favorite songs, and has the best street knowledge in all of Gotham. Meanwhile, Batman's dealing with the Riddler holograms and notices he keeps saying puzzled. That's when Buff realizes something. The fake stone pieces must form a puzzle. Mo puts them together and boom, it's a map showing the Riddler's hiding at Gotham Point Pier. So Batman comes up with a plan. He creates hologram copies of himself to trick the Riddler. When the Riddler tries to escape, he's confused and crashes right into the real Batman.
It's just a hologram. I can go right through.
I don't think so.
Batman gets the stone back and hands Riddler over to the police. Alrighty, we've hit episode 27, and Penguin's got this wild plan to turn all of Gotham into a musical. How? He's using this Songinator ray that's mounted on his remote-controlled Ducky boat. Very creative name. He's at Gotham Point Lighthouse, complaining about how noisy everyone is, and figures the best solution is just making them all sing instead. That's definitely one way to handle things. Batgirl shows up to stop him, but she immediately gets trapped. Meanwhile, the Batwheels try to intercept Ducky, but they get blasted by the Songinator ray, and now everything they say is a song.
Are all my words coming out as a song?
Oof, that's not good. They head back to the Batcave where Mo figures out that he can reverse the effects if they can just get the ray back. BC detects that Batgirl's being held at Gotham Point Beach, so the Batwheels roll out to help. Here's one problem though. When they confront the Ducky boat, it's complete chaos. They can't coordinate at all because nobody's on the same page. And that's when they realize they need to actually sing in harmony to work as a team. Once they start harmonizing, everything clicks. They're coordinating perfectly and manage to stop Ducky. The Penguin tries getting away with a bunch of decoys, but the Batwheels work together and catch him along with the ray. Batwing frees Batgirl from the trap and arrests the Penguin, who of course delivers this dramatic musical plea of mercy.
To let me go as a friend.
Not today, Penguin. You're getting arrested anyway. At the Batcave, Mo uses the Songinator ray to fix everyone's voices, and just like that, the Batwheels are back to normal again. Moving on to episode 28. So Catwoman's got this plan to lure all of Gotham's stray dogs out of the city with treats because she wants to turn the whole place into Kitty City. But during her operation, one brave dog actually stands up to her and messes up her plan.
Oh, bats. I'll be back for you once I have a fresh batch of treats.
Buff's on patrol and sees the whole thing go down, and he's pretty impressed. Remember, he likes dogs. Anyway, Buff just can't leave these dogs out here with Catwoman, still scheming. So he does what any reasonable person would do, brings them all back to the Batcave. Buff asks BC if the dogs can stay temporarily since Catwoman's still out there. BC's not exactly thrilled about it, but the team talks BC into it. But in order to turn the Batcave into a dog shelter, they need to keep the dogs hidden from Batman. Cue a whole lot of sneaking around and keeping dogs out of Batman's line of sight. They pull it off, but everyone realizes this can't last forever. The dogs sense they're causing problems and decide to head back to Gotham. BC's cameras catch this and also spot Catwoman back on the streets, so Buff rushes out to protect them. Catwoman sets up another trap with a stake to catch the lead dog and traps him with her kitty litter. But this dog's really smart. He uses some fish to distract Catwoman and her cat, letting all the dogs escape. Buff shows up and helps take down Catwoman. Since the dogs can't stay on the street, Buff organizes a pet adoption fair. Most of them find homes, but their brave leader dog doesn't get adopted. The team wants to keep him, and when they ask Batman, he agrees. Meet Ace, the newest member of the Batcave. Moving on to episode 29. So Bam notices the Gotham Stadium is all lit up, even though there's no game scheduled. He checks it out and finds the Legion of Zoom hosting a Zoomathon, basically a contest to figure out who their champion racer is. Jesta's practicing tricks when she crashes and messes up her back wheel, and it's pretty bad. But the crazy thing is, Jesta is actually terrified to see a mechanic. Bibi tries helping by taping up her wheel with bat tape, but Jesta just crashes again. Bibi eventually talks Jesta into visiting Mo by promising she'll stay with her the whole time. Mo quickly figures out it's a broken drive shaft and fixes it right up. Jesta's genuinely surprised the whole thing was painless and didn't hurt at all. She thanks both Mo and Bam, realizing mechanics are actually there to help. At the Zoomathon, the competition doesn't go great for most of the Zoomers. Quiz, Prank, Snowy, and Ducky all crashed out of the obstacle course. But Jesta, she completes the entire course and wins the championship. In episode 30, Bam and Buff are playing fetch with Ace in the Batcave when they realize they need more space. They decide to head to the stadium. While they're out there having a good time, Ace alerts them to someone messing with a car late at night. Turns out it's Poison Ivy stealing a car engine because she wants to build her own vehicle that's better than the Batmobile.
It'll be bigger and better than yours, and you'll never catch me.
Oh, we'll see about that. Poison Ivy's flower buds attack them, and she steals a car's engine and Buff's winch attachment. Bam tells Buff they need to go after her now, and he'll just have to improvise without his winch. Then Ace brings the perfect workaround, a tree branch that actually works as a replacement winch. When using Ace's tracking skills, they find Poison Ivy. During the chase, Poison Ivy covers Buff's headlights with these sticky flowers so he can't see. Buff's freaking out about driving in the dark, but Ace comes through again with some decorative lights that work as improvised headlights. They go after Poison Ivy again, but this time she uses pollen to knock out the three guys and steal Buff's tires. When they wake up, Buff's stuck with tiny tires, and he's pretty stressed about it. But Bam reminds Buff that he's been improvising this whole time, so he's got this. They spot these massive donuts, you know, the kind hanging on shop signs, and they figure out that they can swap those for his tires. Poison Ivy finishes building her SUIV with all of the stolen parts. Even with his donut tires, Buff chases her down and actually catches Poison Ivy by wrapping her truck in those decorative lights. Episode 31 kicks off with Jesta and Snowy rolling into this restricted forest area trying to pick freeze berries, because apparently Jesta wants to make ice cream for everyone in Gotham.
So we can make delicious berry ice cream for all the nice people of Gotham?
Yeah, Jesta, I got a feeling you're plotting something here. Anyway, the Batwheels aren't buying it either, so Batwing and Buff team up to investigate. The thing is, Batwing's got her classic hero ego going on. She's like, I can handle this solo, and keeps ditching Buff even though they should be working together. Shocking absolutely no one, Batwing's lone wolf routine backfires hard. Snowy freezes her midair and she slams straight into the ground. Buff has to come rescue her, and she finally admits that maybe teamwork isn't such a bad idea. Meanwhile, Jesta is actually using those berries to make ice cream, but it comes with a twist. It tastes amazing at first, but then you get frozen solid. Turns out though, Snowy was completely in the dark about Jesta's scheme. The second Snowy realizes he got played, Snowy ditches Jesta on the spot. Meanwhile, Batwing and Buff arrive on the scene, finally working as a team. Buff grabs Jesta with his grapple, then Batwing launches her right into her own ice cream. Yeah, how do they save the day? By giving everyone hot cocoa. Because apparently the antidote to supervillain ice powers is just Starbucks. But hey, Batwing learned a lesson about teamwork, so mission accomplished, I guess. In episode 32, Bam just got back from training, all hyped to show off his sick new battering move to the other Batwheels. Thing is, everyone's gone. So BC pulls up security footage, and it turns out the whole squad got jumped at the park by one of Prank's giant buzzers that drain their power. The entire Legion of Zoom kidnapped them, so with Bam being the only hero left, it's time for him to save the others. But he can't do it alone. So BC tells Mo to bring back this old Batmobile using the Bat motherboard. Meet Adam, Batman's original Batmobile from way back.
Greetings, citizen.
It worked! Hi, Adam!
This dude talks like he stepped out of a 1920s movie. They head to the park to investigate. While Adam uses these old school lenses, Bam whips out this fancy infrared scanner to see the tire trails. Anyway, the trail disappears at a bridge and Bam starts freaking out, but Adam's like, keep calm, old chap, and drives up the side of the building to spot the Zoomers at Gotham docks. They rush to the docks to stop the Zoomers, but things go sideways fast. Bam tries his fancy spin move to take everyone out, but immediately gets trapped in a net. Then Adam rams in with his, but also gets trapped in ice. Thankfully, they manage to break free. Adam cuts the net with his knife, and Bam melts the ice with his defroster. So Bam's like, okay, new plan. They decide to work together. You know, combining Bam's spin move with Adam's battering ram. And just like that, they absolutely wreck the Legion of Zoom. After defeating them, they rescue the other Batwheels and get them recharged. Teamwork makes the dream work, and Bam learns that maybe the old-timer had some moves worth respecting after all. Episode 33 opens with the Batwheels doing training exercises with Mo, playing Evil Mo, and attacking them with drones. The team's getting overwhelmed until Bam swoops in and destroys everything, because of course he does. He's the fearless team leader after all. But then the lights cut out, and while everyone's confused, Bam immediately dives under a platform. Turns out someone stole Gotham's electric power core, and the whole city's currently buried in darkness. Now Bam needs to roll out with Batman, but suddenly our fearless leader is making every excuse in the book.
I just think I'm, getting sick.
Dude, you're a car. Anyway, it turns out Poison Ivy stole the power core. Why? Well, Poison Ivy now has these power plants, literal vines that eat electricity. Naturally, Batman leaves to chase her, but Bam's alone in the dark, absolutely freaking out over shadows and sounds. At the Batcave, the team notices something's off, and Bam finally admits it. He's absolutely terrified of the dark. Everyone's like, wait, you fight crime at night? And he's like, yeah, but there's streetlights, which is a very fair point. The squad reassures him that everyone's scared of something, and they loan him all of their gadgets. Mo loads him up with night vision and super high beams, but Poison Ivy's plants just drain all that tech anyway.
I forgot to eat electricity. Hey, stop it! Shoot, get away! No.
So Bam is completely in the dark again, but this time BC gives him a pep talk. Nothing's different in the dark, because it's still the same city. And you know what? Bam actually does it. He uses his memory to dodge potholes and construction, and arrives just in time to stop Poison Ivy's escape. In episode 34, Redbird's finally getting his first solo night patrol, and he is pumped. He's been reading his comic book about Agent V8, some super spy character, and now Redbird thinks he's James Bond on wheels. Bibi tells him, yeah, it's cool, but don't be afraid to ask for help. But Redbird's already not listening to her. Later, Redbird's out patrolling when he spots someone knocking over scooters. Sounds simple enough, right? Except the scooters suddenly come alive and chase him off, like they're possessed or something. Redbird slinks back to the cave, feeling like the world's worst spy ever. Then Redbird gets an idea. He tells Mo to load him up with spy gadgets, because he thinks that's exactly what he needs to pull off his own version of Agent V8. He uses holo disguise to look like an ordinary taxi, then gets a load of tracking spray, smokescreen, and all the other spy stuff that he could come up with. Bibi offers to help, but Redbird's like, nah, I got this. He tracks the thief to an amusement park, only to find dozens of stolen scooters, and realizes, oh crap. This is way bigger than expected. And the villain? The Joker, rebranded as Dr. Joke. His master plan is to clear out the amusement park with scooter minions so he doesn't have to wait in line for the amusement park rides. The scooters trap Redbird, and he finally swallows his pride and calls Bibi. Plot twist, she was already following him the whole time, with her own spy gadgets. Am I the only one getting big sister vibes from Bibi? Anyway, they team up, pull off some cool moves, and wreck the scooter army while Joker gets arrested by the police. Episode 35, ladies and gents, and it's the Joker again. This time he's attacking Gotham using goo lips. Yeah, tulips that spray sticky green goo everywhere. Batgirl's chasing him on foot because Bibi got stuck in the goo. And while Bibi is trying to free herself, she gets into even more trouble. Bibi crashes into paint cans and trash and basically becomes a rolling disaster. Bibi returns to the Batcave looking like she drove through a dumpster. After cleaning her up, the squad gives her some real talk and a whole musical number about bad days, which is kinda cute. But Batgirl is still out there stuck in the goo, and Joker's about to cover all of Gotham in this nasty business. So Bibi decides to try again despite everything. Even though she falls into a mud puddle on the way, Bibi doesn't give up. She dodges all the goo like a pro and frees Batgirl. Then they both go after the Joker together. Batgirl flips the script and uses his own goo lips against him. And just like that, the villain gets a nice shot of karma. Moving on to episode 36. So Penguin has been sinking ships with his robots, but then this random fisherman shows up to confront him.
Wait, who are you again? Are you new here or something?
Batman! It's Batman. Of course it's Batman, but he doesn't do much though. Penguin easily captures him thanks to his army of robots. Anyway, the Batwheels get their alert, and somehow Moe's got the perfect submersible upgrade for Batwing. Bam suggests maybe practicing first, but Batwing's like, nah, everything comes naturally to me, I got this. She did not, in fact, have this. She activates submersible mode while flying and just crashes. Moe has to explain, you gotta be in the water first. Rookie mistake. Underwater, Batwing's getting tossed around by currents like a pool toy. She gets stuck in an underwater tornado, just spinning helplessly. Finally, Batwing spots the Ducky boat, but Penguin fires at her, and she can't dodge because she has no idea what she's doing. Yep, she gets wrecked by the Penguin. Back at the cave, Batwing admits she's not naturally perfect at everything. Shocking. Bam gives her the nobody's good at new things immediately speech and helps her train. So round 2 goes way better. Batwing uses those same tornadoes that wrecked her before to create a whirlpool that disorients Penguin, while Batman just jumps ship, literally. Batwing takes out the robot penguins, brings the Ducky boat to the surface, and just like that, Penguin gets caught. Batwing even sticks around to help Batman recover the sunken ship by making a whirlpool again. Episode 37 opens with the Batwheels rolling back to the cave after fighting crime, and immediately they start arguing about whose job is the hardest. Everyone really thinks their job is the hardest, but BC suggests that they should drive a mile in each other's wheels. Literally, everyone's on board, so Moe swaps their motherboards around. Bibi becomes the Batmobile, Redbird gets to be the Batwing, Buff becomes Redbird, Batwing's now the Bat Truck, and Bam, he gets to play Bibi. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Everything. Everything can go wrong. Bibi activates the Bat Magnet and just throws Moe across the room. Bam's wobbling on 2 wheels like a toddler, and Redbird crashes while trying to fly. Everything's just falling apart. Then right on cue, the Legion of Zoom shows up at the Batcave with a rumble ray that can bring down the entire Batcave. But the Batwheels are like, nah, we got this, and head out still swapped. They get absolutely wrecked, and there's no surprises there. The Zoomers are just confused watching these mixed up vehicles stumble around. Anyway, Ducky activates the rumble ray, and the Batcave starts shaking violently. At this point, they've had enough. Everyone's finally like, okay, yeah, everyone's job is actually super hard. Can we switch back now? So Moe comes panicking from the Batcave, and right on time too. He now swaps the motherboards back where they belong, and just like that, the second round goes way better. They're coordinated, working as an actual team, and they defeat the Zoomers. Bam grabs the rumble ray with the Bat Magnet, and they turn it on the villains themselves. Moving on to the very first episode of Season 2, we open with Batgirl chasing down Joker and Harley Quinn, who are apparently robbing Gotham's entire banana supply, when Harley almost reveals their master plan to the Batwheels. Joker shuts her down real quick. They toss a banana peel that sends Batgirl's bike sliding straight towards the harbor, but Nightwing swoops in with the save using his grappling hook.
Nightwing! Am I glad to see you?
For those of you who don't know, Nightwing's a crime fighter who used to work alongside Batman. He returns to the Batcave with his Nightbike, and Bibi is thrilled that there's finally another motorcycle around.
Thanks for the save out there. That chain thing is awesome.
But that's not even the best gadget in my belt.
Yep, Nightwing's showing off his skills. And naturally, this turns into a full-blown stunt competition between the 2 bikes. They're doing flips, tricks, all kinds of stunts. But neither one of them will call it a tie. Anyway, BC calls it off because there's real villain activity happening. Joker and Harley are scattering banana peels all over Gotham, and people are slipping left and right. Batgirl and Nightwing immediately move out to stop the villains while Bibi and Nightbike chase Prank and Jesta. But instead of working together, these 2 knuckleheads try to solo the mission. Yeah, they end up crashing.
Whoa! Worst stunt ever!
When they finally get their act together, Nightbike and Bibi finally combine their abilities in this sick move, stopping Jesta and Prank while dumping banana peels right on top of Joker and Harley. Mission accomplished. Episode 2 opens with Moe hooking Batwing up with some sick new mega searchlight that'll help her spot villains from a mile out. Then Batman brings up the annual donation drive for kids in need, and now everyone's focused on charity. The gang gets right to work. Bibi's donating her stuffed bear, Bam's giving up his coolest toy car, Redbird tosses in some comics, and Buff throws in a jump rope. Meanwhile, Batwing's over here making excuses for literally anything she owns. Anyway, BC interrupts with breaking news. Quiz and Ducky just stole the bat signal from downtown. And this is actually a huge deal since it's the only way Batman knows when Gotham needs saving from way down in the cave. So Bam and Batwing roll out, splitting up to chase both villains. Turns out these clowns want to reshape the bat signal into a Zoomer signal with their faces on it. The audacity! Ducky tries escaping with his umbrellas, but Batwing's new searchlight tracks them down easily. Then things get interesting when Batwing can't catch Quiz. He's just too fast. Bam hands over his favorite gadget, the Bat Booster, to give her the speed she needs. And Batwing's like, why? Then Bam reminds her that being a hero means giving up things you like, just to help others. That's real friendship right there. Anyway, Batwing catches up, but Quiz would rather break the bat signal than hand it over. With the signal destroyed, Batwing has her light bulb moment. Her mega searchlight is bright enough to be the new bat signal, so she donates it permanently, finally getting what being a hero actually means. Episode 3 opens up, and Bam is on patrol with Kitty, and they're having fun playing games. But when BC calls Bam back to the Batcave for sleep and recharge time, he invites Kitty over for a sleepover since their playdate's just getting good. She shows up absolutely buzzing with excitement, and BC greenlights it as long as everyone actually sleeps afterward. Since Kitty's never done a sleepover before, the gang goes all out with the sleepover activities. Tag, hide and seek, movies, the whole shebang. By the time BC calls lights out, everybody's completely tired. They all fall asleep immediately. Well, almost everyone. Kitty's just laying there wide awake, trying to force herself to sleep, but nothing's working. Kitty starts wandering around the Batcave, messing with stuff, when she wakes up the entire squad by chasing training vehicles around the arena. The team tries everything to help Kitty fall asleep, but nothing works. They build a bed with cushions and stuffed animals, but she just bounces on it like a trampoline. They then attempt a lullaby, which Kitty immediately turns into a rap performance.
Rockabye, Kitty.
Well, not exactly the vibe they were going for. Anyway, Kitty feels bad about disturbing everyone and decides to go home. And that's when BC has a light bulb moment. The Batwheels have been trying what works for them, not what works for Kitty. Turns out she needs Catwoman's purring to fall asleep. So the Batwheels try to recreate it, and it works like a charm.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Everyone finally crashes for the night. Episode 4 kicks off with Redbird nailing the sick backflip move on camera. He's feeling really good about it and decides to make a whole stunt video showing how he'd use it in a rescue situation. But he needs something to rescue for the shot, so naturally he just takes Buff's favorite stuffed unicorn without asking. What could possibly go wrong? While filming this action sequence on the streets, a truck honks and Redbird loses his grip on the toy, and the unicorn goes flying onto the truck and ends up at the scrapyard. The same exact scrapyard, which just so happens to be the Legion of Zoom's headquarters. The Zoomers immediately start fighting over it like kids, while Redbird is in full panic mode. He calls Bam, and Bam's like, dude, you gotta tell Buff. But they decide to get the unicorn back first. They try everything, grappling hook, magnet, they even bring in Ace, but every attempt flops. Bam finally convinces Redbird to confess to Buff, and Buff is surprisingly chill about it. To recover the toy, Bam disguises himself as a pizza delivery guy to distract the Zoomers while Buff winches the unicorn out. When the Zoomers catch on and try to chase them, Redbird busts out that backflip move for real, and he escapes thanks to Buff blocking the Zoomers with a train. Best part, Bam got it all on camera. How freaking cool is that? Episode 5 opens with Bam chasing Prank through Gotham after he stole Bounce-A-Lodium, the bounciest, stickiest goo ever made. Prank's big plan is to make a giant bouncy ball to cause absolute chaos throughout the entire city. Apparently, that's what passes for villainy these days. Bam corners him in an alley, but Prank just throws the goo at his wheels, and now Bam's bouncing uncontrollably every time he moves. He's trying to chase Prank, but instead he's just ping-ponging through the streets. Bam bounces all the way back to the Batcave, frustrated as all get out. But Bibi's got an idea. Instead of fighting the bouncing, why not use it to his advantage? So Bam trains in the cave, learning to control the bounce. Meanwhile, Prank is still out there, with his giant bouncy ball causing chaos across Gotham. Anyway, Bam heads out again, and at first the giant ball is just bouncing around, causing chaos. But then it clicks for Bam. He needs to embrace the bounce to control the ball, so he launches himself up to match the ball's height, lands on top of it, and bounces the ball straight into Prank's goo machine. The goo explodes all over Prank, and now he's bouncing around too. Bam then redirects the chaotic ball towards Gotham Harbor. One final massive bounce sends it splashing into the water. Problem solved. The police show up to take Prank away, but he's not looking good at all. Then Buff and Bibi show up with a special spray Mo designed to remove the bouncy goo from Bam's wheels. Pretty awesome stuff. Episode 6 opens with a call from Batman. Batman's gonna be stuck in Star City for weeks helping Green Arrow deal with a massive crime wave, and he needs the Batcomputer and essential gear shipped over. And Mo's got the right vehicle to ship the gear. Meet the Bat Big Rig, the absolute unit of a transport truck. designed specifically for hauling Batman's stuff between cities. It's loaded with retractable wheels, chains, a battering ram, and multiple batarang launchers. Oh, and Bam can roll inside and pilot it as well. But there's just one problem. Bam's never driven anything this massive before. So Mo sets up a practice course teaching him the basics. Bam's first few attempts go exactly how you'd expect. Lots of crashes, lots of mistakes. After some encouragement from the squad and repeated practice, Bam finally gets the hang of it. They load up BC and he heads out for Star City with Buff and Batwing. Naturally, Batcomputer hears about this valuable cargo being transported and sends a legion of Zoom to intercept it. They jump Bam on the road, and now he's trying to drive this massive rig while being chased by villains. Yeah, he couldn't make it through. The Zoomers block the only road leading to Star City, and Bam retreats, feeling completely defeated. But Buff and Batwing remind him he's actually gotten tons of practice now, and he just needs to trust what he learned. So Bam goes back with a more positive energy, executes these crazy maneuvers, and deploys all the cool gadgets to absolutely wreck the Legion of Zoom's blockade. Mission accomplished. They arrive at Star City and Batman is there to receive the delivery. Moving on to episode 7, where Batwing is absolutely pumped for the Gotham City Air Show. It's this competition where airplanes go head-to-head in racing, skywriting, and acrobatics. Batwing has been practicing her signature move, the high-altitude triple inside loop, and she's ready to bring home that trophy.
Amazing move!
But then Batman drops some breaking news. Catwoman's been spotted, so he's not attending the air show. Naturally, Batwing's bummed, but she decides to just watch the show instead. At the show, Batwing runs into her best friend Goldie, who also can't compete, but when they see the diamond trophy, the two friends can't resist. They disguise themselves with new paint jobs and enter the show anyway. Batwing wins their air obstacle course, while Goldie takes skywriting, so it's a tie heading into the final event. The perfect setup for an epic showdown. While that's happening, Batman is chasing Catwoman, who's now flying around in a Catmobile stealing treats. Yeah, Kitty's got flying upgrades now. At the show, Batwing is moments away from her triple inside loop in the final act when BC calls her for backup. Batwing really doesn't want to go, but she makes the right call and abandons the competition. Here's where it gets good though. Catwoman actually shows up at the air show to steal that diamond trophy. She grabs it, but then Batwing arrives with the triple inside loop that completely disorients Catwoman, letting Batman recover the trophy. In episode 8, the Batwheels get a call about a monster at the docks. Bam shows up to investigate and finds what looks like an actual monster, but it's really a big truck named Grundy. The thing is, Grundy has been stomping around and wrecking everything that stands in his way. Oof, this dude's really having a rough day. Bam barely escapes and immediately calls for backup. When the team shows up, Buff suggests maybe they should, talk to Grundy first. But they're like, nah, there's no time. They decide to just stop him immediately before he demolishes more of Gotham. So they try everything. Batwing deploys a net, but that's way too small. They attempt to ambush, but Grundy spots them instantly. Nothing's working. Things get serious when Grundy heads straight for the museum. The Batwheels are scrambling to catch falling statues while they try to stop the monster truck, but every other gadget they throw at him just fails. Finally, Buff's had enough, and he just does what he's suggested from the start. He actually goes and talks to Grundy. He first asks him to stop stomping so they can chat. Turns out Grundy just has a nail stuck in his tire, which I assume is at least as bad as stepping on a Lego. Buff pulls the nail out and Grundy instantly becomes the friendliest guy ever. Grundy apologizes for the mess and helps clean up Gotham. Sometimes it's just better to talk things out, Moving on to episode 9. So Bam just got back from a quiet Gotham patrol when Mo dropped some big news. He just invented Bat Dazzle vehicle paint with the highest sparkle density ever created. Problem is, Mo only has enough paint for one vehicle, so BC suggests a talent show to decide who gets it. Everyone scatters to practice their acts. Redbird is doing target practice, Buff is trying to train Ace, who's absolutely not cooperating. Bibi's working on gymnastics, and Bam's preparing a magic act with his bat friend Alfie. Batwing plans to do an aerial ballet, but she feels insecure after seeing everyone else's flashy performances. She's worried her flying routine won't be enough, so Alfie takes her to the circus for inspiration. Batwing decides to load her act with flashy decorations and props. More is better, right? Well, it's showtime, and Bibi nails her routine. Redbird hits every target, and Bam's doing magic. Everyone's doing great. Well, everyone except for Batwing, that is. Wing goes on with all her added stuff, and it's a complete disaster. The decorations get get in her eyes, and she loses control and crashes on stage. Youch. Batwing's really disappointed with her performance, but Bibi finds her and tells her, hey, you don't need all that flashy stuff. You're already great at what you do. So Batwing performs her aerial ballet again, and this time, it's just her being herself, and it goes really great. Batwing wins the contest, but she lets everyone get the Bat Dazzle paint. Wholesome ending? We love to see it. Episode 10 kicks off with Mo giving Bam a tune-up when they discover that they're running low on oil. Perfect time for Mo to test his new invention, the Multiplier, a machine that copies anything.
Now there's 2 cans of oil.
Immediately after, everyone needs Mo at once. The poor robot is overwhelmed and he can't handle everything alone. Then Bam suggests using the Multiplier to make more Mo's. Now that's some big brain suggestion. Even though Bam's just kidding, Mo thinks it's a great idea. And so Mo creates 4 copies of himself and warns the squad not to make any more. Because more copies equals more problems. Then he just leaves for vacation. Now what could possibly go wrong? Everyone starts using their Mo's for repairs, but then they decide to make Mo copies for extra tasks. Soon the Batcave is filled with Mo's. Then the worst thing happens. The Multiplier glitches and won't stop producing copies. These Mo's are getting increasingly chaotic and won't listen to anyone. The squad has no choice but to call the real Mo who's enjoying his vacation. The Batwheels apologize for not appreciating his work and promise to help some more. So they work together to clear the mess. Mo fixes the machine while everyone rounds up the copies and gets them back to the Multiplier, which merges all the duplicates back into the original Mo. Episode 11 kicks off with the Batwheels playing with Mo's remote-controlled robot T-Rex. And of course, everybody wants a turn. Redbird controls it first, then Bibi makes it do stunts, and Batwing turns it into a dancer. Then Redbird tries grabbing the remote for another turn, but the remote goes flying, and Bestah grabs it midair. Turns out the Zoomers have been secretly watching, and Batcomputer wants the T-Rex too. He's planning to break into the Batcave and steal BC's motherboard using the robot. Not to worry though, because Mo already got a solution. The Ulti-Bat, a giant robot that Bam can pilot just like the Bat Rig. Bam tries going solo, but the control is way too complex for Bam to handle. But when the Zoomers show up with the T-Rex, Bam has to fight anyway, even though he has no idea what he's doing. Luckily though, the Zoomers start fighting over the remote and end up destroying it themselves. They panic and run straight to their HQ. At the Zoomer HQ, Batcomputer got a little inspiration, so now he's built his own giant robot with a very creative name, the Ulti-Bat. And interestingly enough, Batcomputer's robot lets the whole Legion of Zoom control it together. At the Batcave, Bam still can't handle the Ulti-Bat alone, so Mo modifies the robot so all the Batwheels can control it too. Anyway, the showdown happens at Gotham Central Square. Initially, the Zoomers started strong, but then they began arguing over who's doing what. And yeah, their whole strategy just collapses.
Watch it!
The Ulti-Bat crashes to the ground, and just like that, the Batwheels take the W. We begin episode 12 with some big news. BC just received intel that drones are stealing a giant egg from the Gotham Museum and flying it to a construction site. The squad rolls out and meets Egghead, who's apparently Batman's smartest enemy and a super genius. His master plan is to break the world record for biggest breakfast using Gotham's most gigantic egg. And yeah, he really is a genius. Egghead studied all the Batwheels' moves before his encounter, so nothing they throw at him catches him by surprise. Batarangs, nets, Redbird's camouflage, nothing works. The guy knows every single move. Anyway, the team regroups and remembers Bam's advice about trying something new when the usual tricks fail. So Bam has this absolutely unhinged idea to use the Batcave's T-Rex to fight him. So Mo turns the T-Rex into a robot with everyone controlling different parts. And they head straight to Gotham Pier where Egghead's about to cook the giant egg. When they arrive, Egghead is absolutely freaked out. He tries using his drones, but they do absolutely nothing to the T-Rex. Egghead eventually gives up and hands over the egg to the Batwheels. Yep, just like that. Episode 13 opens with Robin and Ace when a news report announces the Gotham Dog Show is happening today. Robin immediately notices Harley at the show, but unlike everyone else, Harley shows up with a hyena, and you know that means trouble. So Robin decides to enter the show with Ace, you know, just to keep an eye on Harley. But the problem is, Ace has zero clue what a dog show is. No worries though, Redbird and Bam take it upon themselves to train Ace. But things don't quite go as planned. Ace runs around the obstacle course instead of through it, and he gets way too excited and knocks everything over. But Robin still takes Ace to the show anyway, and just like he thought, Harley is there to steal the prize. Robin calls for backup, but Ace is already going after Harley. What follows is a wild chase where Ace uses all of the athletic skills from his training. amazing, isn't it? Ace retrieves the trophy and Harley gets arrested. Even though Ace didn't finish the competition, he still won the trophy because he showed off all the skills while keeping the trophy safe. Moving on to episode 14, the Batwheels are throwing a Friendship Day party at the Batcave, and Bam's on patrol inviting all of their friends, Grundy, Kitty, Goldie, and Nightbike. Over at the Batcave, the Legion of Zoom is cooking up something evil. This time, Ducky's using a tricky device called a force field flinger to trap everyone inside the cave. The team calls Bam for help, and he decides to take on the villains with his friends. Problem is, Bam tries leading them like they're actual Batwheels. He's asking Goldie for an electro net, telling Nightbike to transform when he can't, and expecting Grundy to use a winch that doesn't exist. It's a complete disaster, and they all end up getting trapped in Snowy's ice dome. But that's when it finally clicks for Bam. He's been doing this all wrong. He stops trying to make them act like Batwheels and starts working with their actual abilities. Together they break out of the ice dome and officially become the Gotham Guardians. The Guardians chase the Zoomers down the street, and this time they're playing to their strengths. Using their unique skills, they take down the villains one by one. They snag the force field flinger, break open the Batcave to free everyone, finally get that party started. Moving on to episode 15. So Toyman is back in Gotham, and this time he's stealing a dance machine from an arcade downtown. Robin chases him down on a Batboard, but Toyman pulls out his wild dancerizer belt and straps it onto Robin. Now Robin just can't stop dancing, and it gets crazier. Toyman's planning to put these belts on everyone in Gotham for one massive dance party. The Batwheels roll up to stop the Toyman, but they run into his marauders, little robots shooting darts to a musical beat. The team figures out pretty quickly that they can dodge the darts by dancing to the rhythm. Redbird doesn't join though. He hangs back, saying he's focused on saving Robin, but that's not really it. Truth is, Redbird likes dancing, but he thinks he'll look silly doing it. Anyway, the Batwheels follow Robin's signal to this old toy factory, but the entrance has a dancing lock. Someone needs to beat the stolen dance game in super mega hard mode to get in. Bam, Buff, Bibi, and Wing all give it a shot, but they just can't crack it. Redbird finally admits he likes dancing, but feels ridiculous doing it in front of people. The team hypes him up though, reminding him there's no wrong way to dance. Surprise, surprise, he's got great moves. Redbird steps up and crushes the challenge. Once inside, Redbird rips the belt off of Robin. It accidentally ends up on Toyman, who now is forced to dance after getting the taste of his own medicine. Episode 16 opens with Nightbike telling the Batwheels this epic story about taking down a villain with Nightwing. There's rooftop gliding, dramatic bat cuff action, you know, typical superhero shenanigans. When Bibi asked if he was scared, Nightbike's like, me? Never. Right after that, Batman alerts everyone that Penguin is at Gotham Docks, stealing the final piece for his collection. They don't know what it is, but it's up to Bibi and Nightbike to stop him, and Nightbike actually grabs the stolen box, but then he suddenly claims he's got a grappler malfunction and an engine hiccup. And whoops, Penguin escapes with the box. Bibi suggests Mo check Nightbike out at the cave. In the end, Mo finds absolutely nothing wrong with him. Truth is, Nightbike doesn't have any technical issues at all. He's just terrified of loud noises. Later in the garage, this becomes pretty obvious. A wrench drops, Ace barks, random sounds here and there, and Nightbike is jumping at everything.
It's not any of those. It's,
His friends notice, and Nightbike finally admits his embarrassing secret. He's terrified of loud noises. The squad admits their own fears, and they teach Nightbike a coping strategy through a whole musical number. Hear the noise, take a breath, look at what's causing it, ask yourself if it's actually dangerous. Nightbike gets to do things right when BC sends him and Bibi to Gotham Point Lighthouse, where the Penguin is. They meet Ducky on the way, and this time, the noise doesn't scare Nightbike at all. Bibi and Nightbike manage to take Ducky down. Turns out the stolen item is just a rare bird that Penguin wanted for his bird collection. Moving on to episode 17. Alright, so the Batwheels are playing hide and seek in the Batcave, and poor Buff loses for like the millionth time. And honestly, I feel bad for the guy because he keeps getting found first since he's basically the size of a small building.
I see you, Buff.
It's not fair.
Yeah, finding a hiding spot when you're that massive isn't really happening. Meanwhile, Batman's chilling with the Atom, this Justice League hero who can literally shrink down to the size of, well, an atom. He's dropping off his shrink belt at the Batcave for some safekeeping, so naturally, Buff finds the belt and he thinks, hey, I can't hide big, but maybe I can hide small. He activates it, and dude shrinks down to a microscopic level. At first, he's hyped because he can finally hug his teddy bear properly, which is adorable, but then things go sideways pretty fast. The other Batwheels can't find him anywhere, and they all start freaking out. Buff's trying to get back to the belt, but Ace thinks he's a new toy. After escaping from Ace's grasp, Buff uses a magnifying glass to get Ace's attention, and Ace actually helps him reach the belt. Buff hits the button and he goes back to his normal size. Buff apologizes for the whole mess, and his friends remind him that being big is actually pretty cool. Afterward, they decide to play hide and seek outside, where Buff has an actual fighting chance. Episode 18 kicks off at the stadium where Joker shows up and crashes the game with his Stinky Cheeser device, which is basically this giant sculpture of his face with a huge mouth that's just blasting out the most disgusting smell imaginable. Luckily, Batman's on patrol. He tells Robin to use Redbird's camouflage to go invisible and shut down the Stinky Cheeser while he keeps the Joker distracted. Oh, and Batman drops a rose to deal with the stink. Robin stops the Stinky Cheeser alright, but when the news covers the story, there's zero mention of Robin or Redbird. Just Batman this, Batmobile that. Redbird's pretty bummed because, he did all the work. The other Batwheels try cheering him up, saying being a hero isn't about the spotlight. But Redbird's like, yeah, but it'd be nice to be seen sometimes. Meanwhile, Poison Ivy steals the rose that Batman left at the stadium. When Redbird and Batman show up to get it back, Redbird turns off the camouflage on purpose so the cameras can catch him being heroic. But it also exposed his position, and Poison Ivy immediately traps him in vines. Smooth move, buddy. At the Batcave, Redbird admits he messed up by chasing clout. Batman and Robin track Ivy to her lair, which is basically the death trap made of angry plants. In the end, they get captured, and Redbird's gotta save them. He spots news cameras and almost hesitates, but then realizes his friends are literally in danger. Redbird goes invisible, sneaks in, and destroys Poison Ivy's flowers. He then frees everyone and they take down Ivy together. The news still ignores him though, but Redbird's cool with it now, because being a hero is the reward. Episode 19 kicks off with Halloween, and the Batcave is looking pretty spooky with jack-o'-lanterns everywhere. But just when they're about to get this party started, Bam hits Redbird with the "we gotta go on patrol for" a speech, because saving Halloween for everyone else comes before your own fun. Thanks, Bam. Out in the streets, they run into a jack-o'-lantern that's literally alive, and it's just eating the treats in a candy bowl. Yeah, that's not normal. Turns out Poison Ivy's behind this whole mess with her magic pumpkin wand, creating an army of lanterns to eat every piece of candy in Gotham. Bam and Redbird try catching these things with nets, but they keep breaking out of the net. Things get real when Ivy creates a giant pumpkin that straight up swallows Redbird and Bam. But here's the twist. They just run inside it like a hamster wheel and roll it straight back at Poison Ivy. Bam and Redbird break out of the pumpkin while trapping Poison Ivy inside. So she drops the wand and Bam crushes it immediately, saving Halloween for everyone in Gotham. Episode 20 opens with Bibi getting a fresh set of racing tires from MOE, and she is hyped, like she's ready to test these bad boys out immediately. There's just one tiny problem though. There's a massive storm outside, and BC's like, don't do that. And her friends are throwing out perfectly reasonable alternatives, but Bibi's not hearing it. She's too excited and just zooms off into the storm anyway. Predictably, Bibi loses control on the slippery roads and crashes straight into a tree. Now she's cold, stuck, and probably regretting her life choices. Then Bibi spots a big screen playing The Wizard of Oz, and she just falls asleep. When she wakes up, Bibi finds herself in the land of Oz, and Redbird's now a dog named Toto, because, dream logic. They meet Goldie, the Good Witch, who drops some wild news. Bibi's racing tires are now magical ruby tires, and the Wicked Witch Bestah wants them. Of course she does. So Goldie tells them to hit up the wizard at the Emerald Manor by following the yellow brick road. Along the way, they pick up the usual crew: Scarecrow Bam with straw in his computer brain, Tin Wing, who's completely rusted, and Cowardly Buff, who's scared of literally everything. Bestah keeps attacking them, trying to snag those ruby tires, and eventually kidnaps Toto as ransom. Now Bibi's gotta give up the ruby tires to get Toto back, but first they gotta reach the Wizard of Oz. The gang finally reach the wizard, and surprise, it's just MOE behind a curtain doing mechanic stuff. Not even a real wizard, just a dude with tools. He doesn't do much though. He gets the tires off Bibi and points them to Bestah's lair. The gang heads there, and Bibi hands over the tires to save Toto, but Bestah goes back on the deal because she's the worst. Anyway, Bibi gives her friends a pep talk about how they already have what they are looking for. Classic Wizard of Oz vibes, you know, the whole "you had the power inside you all along" speech. Turns out they didn't need all those upgrades to be heroes. With their confidence restored, they team up and take down Jesta's entire Zoomer army. And then Bibi straight up splashes Jesta with water, and she just sinks. I mean, come on, we all saw that one coming. Goldie and Mo show up with upgrades for everyone. And to get home, Bibi just clicks the ruby tires together saying there's no place like home. Bibi wakes up back on the tree with her actual friends there to rescue her. Turns out it was all a dream. She apologizes for being reckless, and once the storm clears, they finally test out those racing tires together. Moving on to episode 21. It's Christmas Eve in Gotham, and Bam's out patrolling. He spots Prank trying to steal presents from what looks like a random guy in a sleigh. After chasing him down and getting the gifts back, Bam realizes he just helped Santa Claus. Santa explains that he left the reindeer at home this year to test out a new self-powered sleigh, but Prank wrecked the engine, so now Santa's left stranded. Bam brings Santa and his sleigh to the Batcave so Mo can fix it. While Mo's working, Santa asks the Batwheels to help deliver the presents around Gotham. The team's hyped and starts making deliveries while singing out Christmas songs. Meanwhile, Prank tells the Zoomers about Santa, and their genius plan is to steal all of Santa's presents, and to do that, they trap the Batwheels in a box. Everyone's feeling pretty defeated inside the box, but Santa suggests they sing carols to keep their spirits up, and they start going through the 12 days of Christmas, hoping someone hears them. Thankfully, Mo manages to get the sleigh back in working order, and picks up the Batwheels songs through the sleigh's special radio. He swoops down over the streets and breaks everyone out of that oversized present box. Now the Batwheels team up with Santa and chase down the Zoomers on the Gotham Expressway. The squad gets all the presents back, and get this, they literally wrap up the villains like Christmas gifts. Pretty poetic if you ask me. With the villains handled, the Batwheels rush to deliver the presents before Christmas morning. Santa thanks the squad for literally saving Christmas and drops off their presents as a thank you.
Oh, thank you! I love it!
Well, I thought the gifts would be more interesting, but it's just ice skates. Merry Christmas, I guess. Moving on to episode 22. This time Mr. Freeze is upgrading his freeze ray with diamonds to make it twice as icy. BC alerts the team that Batgirl needs Bibi for the mission, but Bibi's still under repair, so Batgirl's gotta take a different ride. When Batgirl shows up, she takes the Batmobile since Bibi won't be ready until tomorrow. Their first mission together is really rough. Batgirl tries wheelies, sliding turns, and big jumps, but Bam just can't handle any of it. He's used to Batman's driving style, and everything Batgirl does just feels wrong. This ends up letting Mr. Freeze get away. At the Batcave, Batgirl's complaining about Batmobile's performance, and Bam's feeling pretty defeated, but Bibi steps in and tells him he just needs to be willing to learn Batgirl's moves. She pulls up a video showing the differences. Batman takes normal turns, while Batgirl slides. Batman doesn't do wheelies, while Batgirl loves them. Batman lands flat, while Batgirl pulls up the front wheels for distance. Bam practices with Bibi until he nails sliding turns, holding wheelies, and jumping with his front wheels up. He realizes he was just trying to do everything Batman style. When Mr. Freeze hits the Gotham Diamond Exchange, Bam's ready this time. Everything clicks, he slides into turns, holds a wheelie while Batgirl fires, and executes jumps perfectly. When they need a huge jump to catch Mr. Freeze, Batgirl doubts Bam's capability, but really, he's got this. They nail the jump and take down Mr. Freeze. Back at the cave, a new alert comes in. Penguin's breaking into Gotham Aquarium, and Bibi's still not ready. Robin needs to attend to this, but Redbird has a broken gasket, and he needs repairs too. Robin then takes the Batmobile instead and immediately hits Redbird's signature move as he speeds off. Here we go again. Episode 23 opens with the Batwheels watching Gotham's finest stars, and honestly, seeing Green Arrow actually rap was not on my bingo card for today.
The name's Green Arrow and I'm cool to the marrow.
Naturally, this inspires Bibi to pitch her own little singing competition, with BC and Mo playing the tough judges. Everyone's hyped, except for Buff, who's suddenly very interested in checking his tire pressure or literally anything else. When it's showtime, Buff just doesn't sing. He claims he needs more practice, which fair enough, buddy, but we all know what's really going on here. So they head to Gotham Park for a private rehearsal, because apparently performing in front of 2 robots is too much pressure. Enter Music Meister.
Oh, look! Why can't I sing anymore? Something took my singing voice away. Something gets me!
This guy is the newest villain in Gotham, and his plan is genuinely wild. He's out here stealing people's singing voices to power a sonic blaster that'll break a bank vault. there are easier ways to rob a bank, but go off, I guess. Music Meister has this bus, which he calls the voice box, and he's using it to steal people's voices. The voice box rolls up on the Batwheels mid-practice and just yoinks their voices. It gets even worse. The voice box rolls up to Green Arrow at his performance and steals his voice too, charging his sonic blaster to its full potential. At the bank, Batman's trying to stop Music Meister, but the dude just keeps getting stronger. Meanwhile, the Batwheels are trying to take down the voice box, and he's got pretty good moves too. But he's no match for the squad though. The Batwheels capture the voice box, but it needs a powerful singing voice to open. Interestingly, Buff's still has his voice because Mr. Shy Guy never actually sang. With some encouragement from the team, Buff closes his eyes and pretends he's back in his comfort zone, and absolutely nails the Batwheels theme.
Batwheels, hop in the bat!
Go.
The voice box opens up, and everyone gets their voices back. At the bank, Music Meister loses his powers and finally gets caught by Batman. Moving on to episode 24, and we've got the Riddler doing what he does best, stealing random stuff for no clear reason. This time, it's a scoreboard from Gotham Stadium. Batman tracks him down, and he whips out his electro net to stop the Riddler's helicopter. But the net straight up breaks and gets tangled in Batwing's engine instead, letting Riddler escape. At the Batcave, Batman asks Mo to build a bigger, stronger mega net. Makes sense, right? Well, Batwing's got other plans. She's emotionally attached to the old net, and she secretly swaps the new one back because she can't let go of the past. Batman tracks Riddler to a construction site and tries to catch him again, and surprise, surprise, the net fails again. The team figures out Batwing's little trick, and they're like, ma'am, upgrades exist for a reason. So Batwing finally agrees to use the Meganet. When Batman finds Riddler at Gotham Point Beach, Batwing intercepts Riddler and actually catches him this time using the Meganet. More like a mega belt, if you ask me. Episode 25 is all about Gotham Cleanup Night, where everyone's out here trying to make the city sparkle. Batmobile and Redbird are on patrol when they run into Clayface, who's basically a walking mud puddle with anger issues.
Cleanup night is so over.
Clayface announces he's turning Cleanup Night into Mess It Up Night, and he starts covering everything in slippery clay. Bam and Redbird try to chase him down, but it's like driving on an ice rink. Their windshields are covered, their tires can't grip, it's a whole mess. They return to the Batcave, and Bam's like, yo, Red, let's hit the bath. But Redbird's over here acting like soap is his mortal enemy. Dude, you're a car. You literally need baths. Bam happily goes through the bat wash, but Redbird's still being stubborn about it. When Clayface pops up downtown, Redbird insists he can handle it while covered in clay. Spoiler alert, he can't. They chase Clayface again, and he just gets messed up by more clay. Redbird finally admits defeat and agrees to take a bath. Bam shows him it's actually kind of fun, and suddenly Redbird's a bath convert. Now squeaky clean, Bam and Redbird hatch a plan to use batnets to drag Clayface through the city, making him absorb all his own clay. The plan works perfectly, Gotham is clean again, and Redbird's racing back for another bath. Character development at its finest. Episode 26 starts with the Batwheels tearing up a muddy trail until Redbird almost gets swallowed by some deep mud. Buff yanks Red out like the hero he is, but then Buff wishes the others were monster trucks too, so he wouldn't have been the only one. But before anybody can unpack that, BC alerts them that a supervillain named King Tut is stealing ancient artifacts, a green wishing stone and a red stone to reverse the wish. This dude looks straight out of Egypt. Anyway, they chase King Tut, who immediately wishes for sand tornadoes. But that doesn't stop the squad though. Bam snags the green stone, however, King Tut escapes with the red one. Back at the cave, Bam tells Mo to lock up the green stone, and the team starts goofing around about what they'd wish for. Buff casually mentions wishing everyone was a monster truck, and the stone's like, ha, say no more. And boom. Instant monster truck squad.
I'm seeing trucks?
At first, everyone's hyped. They're cruising together. Buff's no longer lonely, and it's all pretty exciting. But then a villain shows up, and then reality hits him hard. Bam can't launch batarangs, Redbird can't jump, Wing can't fly. They're basically useless as monster trucks, and realize being themselves was actually way better. Buff tries reversing the wish with the green stone, but you need the red one King Tut still has. So Bam wishes to know where he's hiding, and the stone points them to some ancient ruins in the desert. They navigate booby traps like they're in an Indiana Jones movie, and successfully snag the red stone from King Tut, and when he traps them in a room with closing walls, Buff reverses the wish. Now that everyone's back to normal, they're able to capture King Tut without a problem. Episode 27 opens with Bibi playing video games at the Batcave when Mo rolls up, eager to show her something important. Batman needs him upstairs, so Mo wants to teach Bibi how to pack Bam's utility belt with gadgets. You know, just in case. But Bibi's got her eyes glued to the screen, doing that classic, yeah, totally listening routine. We've all pulled it before. Mo explains that the belt needs batarangs, bat grease, and wheel locks in that exact order, and Mo warns Bibi that mixing it up could cause problems. The whole time Bibi's acting like she's paying attention to Mo when she's really not listening. When Bam shows up asking for a belt refill before training, Bibi volunteers. Problem is, she has zero clue what the order was, so she just wings it. Wheel locks, bat grease, batarangs. Congrats, Bibi, you played yourself. Bam's training goes wrong right out the gate. He's deploying the wrong gadgets, crashing left and right, but Bibi thinks it's just a glitch. Then an alert drops that the Penguin's out there making a movie while robbing businesses. Batman and Bam chase him down, but when Batman tries using batarangs, he gets a wheel lock instead and crashes into a parked car. The utility belt keeps betraying him, and Penguin's eating this up, filming the whole disaster for his movie. Back at the Batcave, Bibi tells Mo the truth, and Mo's super chill about it. Mo decides to upgrade her with a sidecar attachment so that she can help Bam in the field. He teaches her the correct order again, using gaming terms this time. And suddenly, Bibi's all ears. They track down Batman, who's chasing the Penguin on foot at this point. Bibi reaches Bam, admits the glitch was actually her screw-up, and reloads the belt properly. Penguin tries making his escape in the blimp, but now that the utility belt's actually working like it's supposed to, Bam whips out his gadgets and stops him in his tracks. Episode 28 starts with Batwing prowling through Gotham looking for some action, but instead, she's getting the lamest night ever. She finds a regular cat eating pizza instead of Catwoman, and spots Bestah and Quiz just hanging out doing puzzles.
Guess there's just no exciting hero action in Gotham tonight.
Literally the most anticlimactic patrol of all time. Enter Buff, who invites Batwing to volunteer around Gotham. Batwing's clearly underwhelmed by the idea of delivering food donations instead of fighting crime, but she agrees to give it a shot. They start making deliveries, and honestly, it's wholesome, but definitely not the adrenaline rush Batwing was hoping for. Meanwhile, Bestah and Quiz are having the world's most boring game night, and so they decide that following the Batwheels sounds way more fun. So when Buff unhooks the food trailer to help out some scouts whose car broke down, the Zoomers spot their chance and just straight up steal the food. They're convinced it's full of something valuable because why else would two Batwheels be guarding it? Dudes, it's literally just sandwiches. Batwing and Buff chase them down, but with Buff trying to explain that it's just food donations, but Bestah's not buying it. The Zoomers lead them on a wild chase and end up tangling both Batwheels in Buff's rope. Thankfully, the city scouts they helped earlier come in clutch and untie them. Wing and Buff resume the chase and use their gadgets to stop the Zoomers. When the Zoomers finally see it's just food, they're genuinely shocked Batwing and Buff fought that hard for donations. Batwing and Buff explain the whole volunteering thing, bribe them with volunteer stickers, and somehow convince them to help deliver everything to the Gotham Pizza. Unfrickin' believable. Episode 29 kicks off with Bam getting ready for patrol, but there's just one problem. Bam needs a full system upgrade, so he can't patrol tonight. Bam's stressed about leaving Gotham unprotected, so he asks Batwing to cover for him. Batwing's like, say less, I got you. Except she doesn't. Batwing gets distracted with dancing, and BC tries warning her about keeping promises, but nah, Batwing's convinced Gotham will survive without Bam for a bit. Anyway, this guy called Condiment King shows up riding a hot dog, and then he just starts blasting a food truck with ketchup. Seriously, who's making up these villains? When Batwing finally shows up, the damage is way worse than what she thought. Condiment King is now at a hot dog stand complaining about Gotham's bland food and announcing his master plan to spice up the city by drowning it in condiments. Batwing tries cleaning up the mess with her air blast, then she chases Condiment Guy down the street. Condiment King blasts Batwing with sauce after sauce after sauce, and Batwing crashes into some toys at a theme park. Reality hits, and Batwing admits to BC that she messed up big time by not patrolling immediately. She also tells Bam, who's super chill about it, and reassures Batwing that they can fix this together. Mo hooks Bam up with an industrial bat vacuum for cleanup duty, and they're now ready to take on Condiment King, who's about to drench the city hall in hot sauce.
I'm going to drench the city hall in hot sauce!
Wiener choppers? Seriously? He's really hanging this big sachet of sauce over Gotham with wiener choppers. Batwing quickly takes care of the wiener choppers, but the way they actually catch this dude, that's where things get wild. So Batwing's up in the air, holding this massive hot sauce packet, right? And Condiment King, just being the genius he is, decides to shoot it with his ketchup gun. Bad move, buddy. A small hole opens in the packet, and scorching hot sauce straight up falls into his mouth. Dude immediately jumps into a nearby cold water bath to cool off, which is exactly when Bam swoops in with the cuffs while Batwing carefully lowers what's left of that hot sauce. Mission accomplished. Episode 30 starts with King Tut swiping the wings of Hermes from a museum because apparently he's tired of traffic. His plan? Make his car, the Carcophagus, the fastest thing in Gotham and pull off the world's speediest crime spree. When Batman tries stopping him, King Tut activates the wings with a magic spell and just zooms away. Batman's left in the dust, even with maximum boosters, which has got a sting. At the Batcave, Batman's frustrated because getting smoked by a guy in a pharaoh hat isn't a great look. BC explains that the wings of Hermes are some ancient Greek magic artifact that grants crazy speed. Batman asks Mo to upgrade Bam to match it. So Mo slaps on rocket boosters called the Bat Blastoff. Cool name, but here's where things get messy. Before Bam can even test them, Batman gets called to stop King Tut from stealing the Golden Goose statue at Gotham Central Park. Batman fires up the rockets and matches King Tut's speed, but controlling Bam at these speeds? Yeah, that's not happening. Batman eventually loses control of the whole thing. At the Batcave, Batman asks Mo to tighten everything. Steering, brakes, all of it. Bam's frustrated because speed means nothing if you can't control it. That's when his friends step up with a training montage. Redbird teaches high-speed turns, Buff shows him how to jump sand dunes, and Bibi demonstrates going vertical through tight forest spaces. When King Tut hits the Gotham Jewelry Exchange, Bam's ready to stop him. He uses every technique his crew has taught him, and Batman's keeping pace now. King Tut is getting desperate and demands more speed from the wings, but he loses control of himself and starts screaming for Batman to save him. Batman grapples the wings off the Carcophagus. King Tut goes down for a safe splash landing in the water, and the cops are already there waiting for him. Episode 31 opens with Bam and Batwing on night patrol, cruising above Gotham when they spot what looks like a Riddler signal lighting up the sky. They check it out and it's just Quiz messing with the bat signal, making it display Riddler's symbol instead. When the heroes try to stop him, Quiz immediately unleashes a drone army on them. And while Batwing's weaving through like it's nothing, Bam's struggling hard to fly. His wing gets damaged, he deploys his bat chute and has to make an emergency landing. Quiz escapes, bragging that this is just a warm-up for Riddler's real plan. Great, so it's only gonna get worse. Grounded and frustrated, Bam realizes they need another flying vehicle to help Batwing. Enter Kitty, who shows up with fancy new wing attachments from Catwoman. The only problem is that she can barely control them. Bam asks Kitty to be Batwing's training partner. Even though Wing doesn't want to do it, she agrees anyway. And I'll tell you, training does not go smoothly. Batwing tries teaching her 3 basic moves, but Kitty's crashing left and right. Batwing is visibly frustrated, so she rushes Kitty through the lessons without letting her practice. Eventually, Kitty gets so discouraged she just quits. And honestly, I can't blame her. Bam explains to Batwing that these moves might be easy for an experienced flyer, but Kitty's new to this. Batwing realizes she's been a terrible teacher and teaches Kitty again, patiently this time. But before Kitty can master everything, BC alerts them that Quiz is at Gotham Point Beach, trying to control ships and steal cargo. So Batwing and Kitty fly to the lighthouse and confront Quiz. Kitty's using her spinning skills perfectly to dodge drones. When Quiz comes after Kitty directly, Batwing tells Kitty to try a loop-de-loop, and Quiz crashes straight into the lighthouse. Once again, mission accomplished. Moving on to episode 32. Harley Quinn's bouncing around Gotham with her hammer, causing chaos, when Batgirl pulls her over for what's basically every traffic violation imaginable. But here's the thing, Harley's actually freaking out because her pet hyena, Giggles, is missing.
Giggles! She's missing!
Harley begs Batgirl for help. Batgirl thinks it might be a trap, but she still agrees. It's crazy, but heroes gotta help everyone. They head over to Harley's arcade with Bibi and Bestah. Then Bestah spots hyena footprints while she's bouncing around. They follow the prints back to Gotham Stadium, where Penguin's duck blimp is. Batgirl definitely thinks it's a trap, but Harley insists that it's not. Harley and Batgirl get to the blimp to grab Giggles, but a magnetic field locks down their feet and blocks Batgirl's gadgets. Yep, it's a trap. Shocking. But it's not really Harley's fault. Penguin's the one behind this. Penguin kidnapped Giggles to lure Harley just so he could steal her trophies, but since Giggles isn't made of metal, duh, Giggles fetches Batgirl's demagnetizer and frees them from the magnets. How convenient. But they're still stuck on a flying blimp with no exit strategy. Meanwhile, Bibi and Bestah finally spot the blimp floating away, and they decide to team up to bring it down. They shoot cables between two buildings, creating this makeshift net that catches the blimp midair. Then Harley checks her phone and realizes that the Penguin is raiding her arcade. Harley and Batgirl get off the blimp and rush over to catch him in the act. For the first time ever, Harley slaps bat cuffs on Penguin herself. Moving on to episode 33. So BC alerts the Batwheels that the Legion of Zoom is illegally boarding a ship at Gotham docks, and the Batwheels roll out to deal with it, leaving Mo behind to work on Batman's new bat armor. At the docks, they find the villain's ship, but the Zoomers activate a giant magnet that traps all the Batwheels. They're completely stuck, and with Batman, Robin, and Batgirl all on a mission, BC is completely defenseless. Except BC tells Mo he's the only one who could protect her. 5 villains against 1 repair robot. Mo is really freaking out, but BC reminds him he has access to literally all of Batman's gadgets. Anyway, Mo suits up in the bat armor and heads out. At first, Mo's absolutely destroying the Zoomers, but then the Zoomers realize it's just him inside the armor, and the realization scares Mo. He panics and retreats to the Batcave. Mo's having a nervous breakdown, but Bam gives him some advice over comms. Just use your gadget making skills to set up a trap instead of trying to fight the bad guys head on like Batman does. That clicks for Mo, and so Mo starts rigging traps all over the Batcave, and one after the other, the Zoomers keep falling into his traps.
Don't say I didn't warn ya!
What a dino bummer!
Meanwhile, the trapped Batwheels somehow find a giant fishing pole and use it to hook the magnet switch and deactivate it. At the Batcave, Mo's left with Bestah, who's trying to steal BC's motherboard. He scares her off with one of the vehicles the Batwheels train with, only this time it's shooting plungers. Yeah, you heard that right, toilet plungers. Anyway, the Batwheels arrive just in time to clean up the mess, and they bring the giant magnet with them. They use the Bat drone to activate the magnet, pulling all the villains out and dumping them in the dock water. Good riddance. Episode 34 opens with Batwing and Bibi heading out to grab a mega screen for BC. It's new and it's 10 times more powerful than the current one. I don't know why BC needs a bigger screen, but I guess we'll roll with it. Anyway, Batwing and Bibi pick up the screen and they start heading back. Just then, Bestah and Crash ambush them. Turns out Batcomputer wants the mega screen too. Right, now he's currently stuck in a device that keeps getting interrupted by ads. Honestly, that's the most relatable villain motivation yet. Bestah zaps Batwing's boosters with her electric hammer, so now she can't fly and her comms are down. No backup, no flight, great start. Bibi's like, we can still do this on the ground, so they trap Bestah and Batcomputer with a net. But Batcomputer's not done yet. He immediately calls on the entire Legion of Zoom because, yeah, he's not taking chances. First up is Prank with his goop cannon. Batwing realizes her rotor still works, so she blows a huge bubble from the goop, and Bibi smacks it right back at Prank. 1 done, 3 more to go. Next is Snowy at a stadium sending snowmen after them. Batwing's batarangs don't work, so Bibi just uses Batwing as a giant batarang, spinning and throwing her to wreck all the snowmen. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Anyway, Snowy thinks this is game, and since they won, he just lets them go. Up next is Quiz and Ducky at a construction site, but unlike the others, Quiz and Ducky steal the mega screen. Ducky sends Bibi flying with his mischievous umbrellas, and Batwing just sits there helpless. Batwing's already discouraged, but Bibi hypes her up, reminding her she's been crushing it this whole time. The Zoomers gather around the screen, ready to install Batcomputer, but Batwing and Bibi launch their counterattack. Bibi takes out Quiz using her batarangs, while Batwing sends Ducky flying, deflecting his own umbrellas back at him. Bestah hits Batwing with her hammer, but it somehow knocks Batwing's boosters online, and now she can fly again. With her boosters, Batwing sends Batcomputer flying, and they deliver the mega screen to the Batcave safely. I genuinely don't see a difference. Episode 35 opens up with a new villain called Bane Buggy. This little guy just escaped Star Labs. He's a prototype vehicle that uses grow gas nanofuel to get bigger. According to BC, Bane Buggy is really dangerous. The gang thinks otherwise though, so Redbird handles it alone. Redbird shows up, but Bane Buggy's already chugging grow gas and expanding rapidly. Redbird tries chasing Bane Buggy, but the guy just throws a truck towards Red that sends him crashing into an alley. So Bam sends Buff and Batwing next. next. Buff tries blocking him, Batwing's got the Mega Net ready, but Bane Buggy's way too big now. He tosses Buff aside, and Batwing somehow gets trapped in her own net. Anyway, BC figures out Bane Buggy's heading for Ace Chemical Plant, where grow gas is manufactured. And obviously, if he gets there, he'll become unstoppable. Bam thinks size is the answer, so he pulls out the Bat Big Rig. It makes absolutely no difference though, because Bane Buggy has now gotten way bigger. So Bam still gets wrecked at the chemical plant. But then Bibi shows up, and thanks to her small size, Bam realizes something. Those tubes on the Bane Buggy, they're feeding Bane his fuel. Unplug those bad boys and he'll shrink right back down. Bibi's the only one small and agile enough to reach the tubes, so she scales Bane Buggy using her jumping skills and disconnects the tubes using her batarangs. Finally, Bane Buggy starts shrinking until he's back to a tiny size. The team hands him over to the police, and yeah, mission accomplished once again. Episode 36 kicks off with Green Lantern's spaceship having engine trouble while transporting an alien creature named Dip back to his home planet. Batman helps him land near the Gotham Cliffs after a distress signal, and now Green Lantern's spaceship needs repairs. Here's the thing though, Dip is a cute little alien in his special pod, but only when he's locked up in it. So Green Lantern's super clear with the rules. Do not let him out of the pod. Meanwhile, the Joker just shut down all the traffic lights in downtown Gotham, so Batman and Green Lantern go out to deal with it. Everyone's admiring Dip in his shell. Buff takes one look at Dip and decides, you know what would be fun? A tea party. So Buff lets him out. Big mistake. Turns out Dip can fly. He's got super speed, telekinesis, and yeah, he can also teleport. That said, it's absolute chaos and the team tries catching Dip. They're really struggling with all his powers. BC does some research and confirms that Green Lantern was taking him home when the ship broke down, so Dip's just homesick. They use the orb from his shell to lure him back, and it actually works. Meanwhile, Batman and Green Lantern return. MOE reports the ship is fixed, and Green Lantern prepares to take Dip home. But before they leave, Dip teleports one last time to just say goodbye to the team. Then we get this plot twist. Apparently Dip could have escaped whenever he wanted, but chose to stay in the shell because it reminded him of home. How adorable. The last episode of Season 2 opens with Poison Ivy heading to Gotham Docks to steal a secret delivery for Star Labs. The team immediately rolls out, but Ivy's giant vegetables get in their way. Everyone else fights the veggies, but Bam thinks it's a good idea for Bibi to stay back and guard the secret delivery. Bibi opens it, finds just a tiny seed, and thinks, why am I babysitting a seed? She then ditches her pose to join the fight, except Poison Ivy stole the seed while Bibi wasn't watching. Oops. Turns out it's a slumber posy seed. Poison Ivy puts all of Gotham to sleep with its pollen, and now she's planning to take over the city. Poison Ivy's immune to the plant's effect, so while everyone's unconscious, she's just vibing and chilling. The Batwheels roll out to stop her, and Bibi wants to join too, but Bam sends Bibi back to the docks to guard another delivery. At the docks, Bibi finds another seed, and BC says it's a rare wakey daisy, the antidote to the slumber posy. Perfect timing too, because at City Hall, Ivy's pollen already knocked out the whole team. Then Bibi shows up with the wakey daisy and, wakes everyone up. But then it turns into this crazy back and forth where Ivy keeps putting him to sleep, then Bibi keeps waking him up. This kind of reminds me with my crazy back and forth antics with my alarm clock in the morning. Finally, Bibi breaks the pattern and defeats Poison Ivy with her batarangs. Alrighty. That's the end of the recap. Loved the different themes of friendship, patience, and self-confidence. It's been really nice covering the show. Feel free to click on the video on the screen right now to watch another one of my videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.